Hello and welcome back to the Lakeshore Video Podcast. I'm your host, George Niksch, and we're going to continue the series talking to local businesses. Today we're talking to Selah Brooks, owner of Phenominal Photo Booth Company, and we're going to basically explore his entrepreneurial journey. He is the owner of multiple businesses at this point, right?
No, it's just Phenomenal Photo.
Oh, just that one. Okay,
yeah,
but you have something special that you're doing.
Right. I'm cooking up. I got something I'm cooking up.
Yeah. So we're going to save that for the end. So please stick around all the way through this whole video. We're going to try to keep it brief, but he has a really cool journey of creating this company. And he has something special coming up that you guys can come and visit and interact and attend and learn from. So Selah, welcome.
What's up, right,
sir?
I just want to say, I appreciate you for having me on. Because when we met, it was at the Crown Point event. I always make it my thing. If I feel a good connection, a good energy from people,
cool.
I always try to support. So I followed you on Instagram, and checking out the reels and the clips. You do a great job.
Yeah. I was impressed by your professionalism, honestly.
Okay.
At that event, I didn't really expect. It was like a sort of a laid back event.
Right.
You were still super on it with your photo booth. I saw you in the corner immediately. I was like, oh, I got to talk to that guy because I bet he does weddings too. Yeah, and I do weddings.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's something that we talked about, and I appreciate it. My journey of a photo booth thing. It had to be accelerated learning.
Yeah,
and we'll get into that. But every time I showed up, I needed people to not know that I was new.
Yeah.
So now when I go there, it's when you say yeah, man, you seem really professional. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the goal for me, you know? So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so let's get into what made you want to become an entrepreneur. Let's go all the way back. What kind of got you started in your career and stuff?
Yeah. So I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was 9. I didn't know what it was called. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up in Cleveland, and I remember, just selling candy. In 4th grade, I just started selling candy. Hey, man,
I feel like that's almost everyone's first business, and the people who succeed at it are the ones who are destined to be entrepreneurs later.
The thing is, for me, my dad's a CNC machinist, and my mom, she's an RN. So
cool, yeah.
I come from a W-2 household, right? So the only people that I really seen that was selling stuff was people selling drugs. You know what I mean? So I'm well, this ain't that bad. I'm just selling candy.
Yeah.
But it was always really fascinating to me because sometimes when I was in 4th grade, bro, I made $50.
Yeah.
And in a day, I'm oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And to the point where I'm walking around, I'm giving my friends money. I'm acting like I'm rich and stuff because that's a lot of money for a kid. Principal called me, cracked down on, hey man, what you doing with all that money in your pocket?
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I knew that I was man, this is really cool. I I met people through that, and then kind of kept me a little social status because I'm the candy man.
Yeah. Nice.
So that was the part for me where I was I like doing this, right? And then even when I got into my into high school, I had even bigger candy business. So
cool.
I moved back and forth between my mom and my dad. So around this time, I was in Lafayette, Harrison High School. And so my dad told me hey man, I'm not paying for your prom. You want all these fancy things. You need to go make the money yourself. And I didn't have a car. And so in Lafayette, I don't know if you guys ever been there, but you need a vehicle, man. Those sidewalks, they don't last too long. You need a car.
Oh yeah.
So the only way I can make money was at school. So I went to Dollar General and I just spent a bunch of money on candy, and I would go and I would try to sell it to people.
Nice.
And I actually had a team of 4 people. Oh, so I had freshmen selling candy from me. I mean, I had a whole business where now I was making $150 before noon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know what I mean? So everybody knew yeah, if you know Selah, he gonna sell something.
Yeah.
I always had a hustle. And so fast forward, this is my senior year. I'm now in LaPorte, Indiana. So I went to LaPorte High School, and my dad ended up kicking me out because I was bad as hell, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I'm a changed man now, thanks to my wife. You know what I mean?
Cool.
She really fixed me up and made me say I got to get my stuff together. But yeah, bro, I got kicked out of every school I've ever been to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My dad told me one time, he's man, I don't, anything with the word school in it, you get kicked out. Elementary school, middle school, high school. He was man, you so bad, you got kicked out of barber school.
Yeah.
And I did. It wasn't a joke. Yeah. So Yeah, I mean, he ended up kicking me out. So I was 19 years old. My car was a 2006 Chevy Trailblazer, broke down, can't drive it. I don't have a job, no friends, no family, and so because he kicked me out and he just, he drove off, right?
Yeah.
So I'm stuck sleeping in my car, and
It's broken down, can't drive.
can't drive
Oh,
it.
wow.
I mean, I'm broke, and even my car broke, dog. Like, I'm not doing good.
Where were you parked?
At my apartment complex.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it was crazy because I'm actually doing like a vlog series. It's called The Evolution of Entrepreneur. And I haven't been back there since, but I went back to the parking spot.
Oh, really?
Where I was sleeping at. But that's when I knew. I was like, man, you got to make decisions for your life, bro. And like in that story right there, it was a whole little journey that I went through, because it's like I had to realize I'm the problem. Right? Like everywhere you go, you get kicked out of school. I'm moving to different states and different cities because I keep getting in trouble. Bro, you're the common denominator, man. Like you're the issue. And so I went on this, my personal growth journey, just do that. But I always knew I wanted to do sales. And so like I needed to eat. I don't have a job. So I would sell the stuff in my car. Like, bro, I don't need my J's right now. They fresh, they cool, but I don't need them.
Yeah.
So I would go out and sell my J's, my hoodies, different clothes and stuff like that. And I would get money. And I realized the more enthusiastic I was and like great energy, different things like that, people would give me money.
Okay.
If my attitude messed up and it's all stinking jacked up, I didn't get money.
Yeah.
And so I really got into like the nitty gritty of like sales. And so there's a thing, it's called Albert Morabian. He basically does his theory on communication. I forget the percentages, but like, 30-something% is body language, right? And then the other percent is like your tonality, and the 5% is the actual words that you say.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And so it made sense, because if I'm going through something, I'm struggling, and I need money from people. They don't know my situation, but if I walk up on them with like a messed up body language, you're not getting paid, bro.
Yeah.
So I really like internalized that. And so, and ideally in a weird way, the stuff I learned growing up in the streets is the same stuff that applies to business.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
It's still the same, right? Like if you approach somebody in Cleveland, you got a messed up body language, you're gonna get chin checked because they don't know, man, what you walking up on me like that? It's right. So there's the body language. Before we even talk, they already making decisions about whether you're a threat or not.
Yeah.
Right. And so I internalized that. And so I went through there and I was like, man, I still want to do sales. And obviously, like, I'm selling stuff on my car. And I was walking around trying to get sales jobs. So I went to Boost Mobile, T-Mobile, Verizon. They wouldn't give me a job because they said I didn't have enough experience. I'm like, bro, it's like I can't help. I was born in 1999.
Did you finish high school?
Yeah, I finished. I graduated and everything. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You're saying you got kicked out. I just wanted to see. Like,
well, yeah, I finished by the grace of God.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, I played football too. So like sometimes like
they little lenient.
Yeah, man, you already know how it is. All right, bro. Like we gonna give you a chance. And,
How old are you now?
25.
25. Oh wow, you're even younger than I thought. I'm 36.
Oh well, yeah. So I don't always like telling my age because like sometimes people might be like, yeah, yo, whippersnapper. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No,
sometimes even in marketing sales, like when I started off, people they don't want to. They just assume a young dude don't know that much, right?
Sure.
But
and I think a lot of it actually is like younger people kind of tend to not take the job seriously, so that's why they're like apprehensive at hiring young people.
Yeah, so it's like they kind of group you in with the bunch. But like anytime I step in it, bro, like I know that I'm young, but it never.
Yeah, as long as you're serious, like
it never made a difference. Like I never let it stop me.
Yeah.
Like I mean, but I will argue, bro. Don't you want a younger person doing some of your marketing, man? Like
that makes sense to me. Yeah,
sure. So but yeah, anyway, I was trying to get a phone, like just like sales jobs at these phone companies. Nobody would hire me, and I ended up getting a job at this marketing company. It was 100% commission based.
Oh, cool.
So I was sleeping in my car and I knew nothing about digital marketing. I didn't know about websites, SEO, Facebook. I knew nothing about. I was 19, bro, and I was still watching YouTube videos in like 144p. I wasn't tech savvy at all. I didn't even know that there was higher resolutions to watch videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, really? Yeah.
But I knew, I was like, all right, well, because at the time, my teacher, his name was Mr. Presley, he called me. And it was a class that I took that was called Introduction to Business. So I showed you how to like shake hands and cover letters and resumes. Basically, like if you didn't think you was going to do anything in high school and you needed a job, you would take that class.
Okay.
I took it, and like months later, you know, after I graduated, he called me. He's like, "Hey, man, your resume sucks. We got a partnership going on with this company called American Rental, and we're gonna help you fix up your resume, and we're gonna get you an interview there for $15 an hour."
Oh, sweet.
Dope, bro.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm like, yeah, man, I'll be the first one there. He didn't know I was sleeping in my car, but I really was the first person. Like, I showed up like 40 minutes early. And then it was at this office, and these two dudes came in, and they had suits, nice cars, nice watches, all that stuff. I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? Like, here I am trying to get a job for $15 an hour. Bump that. They clearly got something figured out. And that building that we was in was their marketing company. Like, they just had started out. Yeah, just started the company. So I talked to them, and they called me back like a couple of days later, and they was like, hey, man, you know, we want to try to hire you as a sales rep. We don't really have clients. We can't give you a salary. Everything's commission. I never even heard that word before. So I was like, what does that mean? Well, you don't get paid unless you make a sale. I'm like, bro, I thought that's what sales was anyway, bro. Like, yeah, bro, like, let's run it, right? So I did that for 5 years, right? And so the first year at that job, I made $3,000 the first year.
That's it, the whole year?
That is not a good year.
Steep learning curve there.
Yeah, well, my thing was like, I was a street salesman. Like, I'm really personable. I can go out, crack jokes, all the other stuff, right? But when you come into business, you have to have a certain attitude. You have to have a certain polish about yourself, right? And so the slick, fast talking, cool game, the funny crack jokes, because that's really, I'll crack jokes all day long, right? But when you sit across from a business owner that's seen, 20 years worth of salespeople, he ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you need to prove value, and you probably should do it in the first 5 or 10 seconds, or he gonna give you the boot.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I didn't do a good job. So during that time, my second year comes around, I made $21,000.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Moving up.
A little bit more.
Were you working other jobs at the same time?
So I was actually working a night shift. It was a factory job. It's called American Signature. I was moving furniture around in the warehouse, right? And so I hated that job.
Yeah.
I hated that job. I hated my boss. I hated my coworkers. But it was like I was living two different lives, because that job was it was from 4 p.m. to midnight, right? So every day, I want to say to about like from 7 o'clock to like 3 p.m. I was selling. I would go to these networking meetings and all this other stuff, and I would see, this is a life that I want to live. This is amazing. It's entrepreneurs, right? I just need to figure out how to do it full time. When I would go clock in and hit that clock, I'm like, bro, I hate this. And if you don't want to keep living like this and keep doing this job, you better go figure that out.
Yeah.
So I have a thing, I'm real spiritual, go to church all the time. Whenever I'm having a problem in my life that I feel like I can't figure out, the Lord sends me a baby.
Nice.
And so right now I'm at this factory, probably making like $10 an hour. And I just made $21,000 in sales. I'm not doing good by any stretch of the imagination, bro. I am struggling, right? Yeah. And so one day my girl told me, like, hey, the 3 words that a lot of young men don't want to hear. Hey, I'm pregnant.
Oh, no.
Damn. Right? So I'm sitting, I'm like, man, I got to try to figure this thing out, because I grew up really, really hard. My mom was super poor, single mom with 6 kids. I know what it's like, bro. And I'm not want to bring a kid into this.
Yeah.
So I was like, what could I do? Like, I'm trying everything that I can, and it's not working. And so I really just started to hone in on everything that I did. So I would actually, my first year doing the sales, I wasn't actually in sales. I was an appointment setter, because I didn't know about the digital marketing. So I would walk into these businesses, I would set the appointments, and then the people that hired me would come back and they would sell for me. And if they closed, I got the commission. Year 2, I actually started doing it myself, going in, getting the close, and then trying to doing this, like asking the questions and all that other stuff, and then try to go back and get the close. So I was like, bro, this year is make or break. You have to produce, or your family's gonna be effed up. You know what I mean? So every meeting that I went into from now on, I was recording that meeting, like voice record. I'll put my phone right there. I'll turn the face down. Yeah. I'll voice record the entire meeting, right? And then when I would leave, I would literally go break it down, because I play football.
It's where you went wrong.
It's like watching a film. So I would say, all right, you should have asked this question. When he said that, that's really what he actually meant. Because it's like peeling back the layers. It's like a conversation with the conversation.
It didn't click during the conversation.
Right. And so like, I started making a goal where I'm like, all right, I want 8 to 10 meetings a week. And I'm not going home until I start hitting these numbers. And so, bro, I would go out at like 11 o'clock and at night and go to bars and start practicing my pitch on drunk people.
Oh,
I'm being dead serious. I was like, I know that I'm not that good right now. I have the potential. I have the personality. I got the work ethic.
Yeah.
I need to put it all together. And so, every time I do a meeting, I'm recording it, I'm listening to it, I'm taking notes. And they actually brought me into the office during like year 3. And so it was my boss and it was somebody else that worked at the company. I think they handled the social media there. And they were like, hey, Selah, we wanted to let you know, like, bro, every time we post you on our Facebook page, that's when we get the most engagement.
Oh, cool.
And you also the most visited page on our website, not the services, like that you're the sales guy. And I was the only sales guy there. And so they was like, well, what we think you need to do is you should probably create a Facebook page so you can interact with these people because you really be hustling more than anybody else out here. I think if people saw that, you know, it'll give you the leg up. And I think you have a better year this year. So
wait, why were people visiting yours more? Just because you were hitting more businesses, or
just because I was out there? Like, give you my regular day. I start my day at 6 a.m. A lot of salespeople probably don't start till about 9 or 10. The reason I would start at 6 a.m. is because I'm hitting up all the cafes and like the little coffee shops. They're open. So I'm passing out my cards there to people getting coffee. I'm leaving my business cards and I'm pitching people. I'm already getting warmed up. So by the time 8 o'clock hit, when all the business is open, I don't have to go practice on customers. I already did my practice. So now I'm engaged. I'm warmed up.
So would you go business to business after that? Like literally walk in the door and who's the owner? I want to talk to you.
Yeah, dog. I literally would just walk in. Because that's the only way that I knew to get business. So check this out. When I created that Facebook page, I just started posting, different things that I was doing. And then I figured out that something called a Chamber of Commerce, you can actually go to a Chamber of Commerce and start networking with people. All of my sales that I've ever been has been cold. So now that I can go network with people and they can see me, and I learned about building relationships with people, and that going back to the Albert Moravian theory where you can on communication, that's where that took off, bro, because I learned how to network with people and not the fact that it's networking. So networking and socializing, those two different things, right? So when you're networking, it's like a strategic approach behind talking to somebody. Socializing is you talking to anybody and everybody. I would do both because I remember a guy told me one time, was like, hey man, like, I have more established people to network with. And I was at my first networking event. It made me feel this big. And I remember what that felt like. And I was like, man, when he comes see me the next time, I'm gonna be the man in this mug. And that happened because I learned how to communicate with people and how to have them engage with me so they like me. And that year, my 3rd year there, that marketing company hit $1 million in revenue. And I was the only salesperson. So I don't want to say I was 100%, but as the only salesperson, I damn sure was about 80. Right. So year 5 coming around with that marketing company, and it started going south. Right. And without going into too many details, I think it's really important when people they learn about business. Learn about W-2s, learn about 1099s, learn about when you're putting together a deal, you should know how it's structured, because I was actually getting played on the back end. So I left that company.
So they weren't compensating you how they should have been, huh?
Well, they gave me commission. Right. I was a 1099. And like I said, I came from a W-2 household. I don't know what 1099 is. So I took the job because I was sleeping in my car. I didn't really understand everything.
So did you owe a bunch of taxes at the end of the year?
No. So actually, I made the sales. They paid me and they told me that I should take out my taxes. Right. So that part was cool. But what they were doing was they weren't paying me for the actual work. Like when I'm working with clients, I would get a marketing client, right? And if I sold you a website, I'm on all 3 website revision calls. That can go anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. Then I'm also listening to your calls for the Google ads. I'm going through all your programmers. I'm going out there and I'm talking to clients, going to video shoots, photo shoots. I wasn't getting paid for that time. So as a 1099 contractor, you're only supposed to get paid for the sale, but not do the work. I'm not a W-2 employee. So I did that for 5 years, bro. They got 5 years worth of free labor off me. So when I found out, I'm like, all right, I've been here for 5 years, right? I understand if you hear me as 1099 for year 1. Even year 2. But after the 3rd year where y'all see that I'm sticking around and y'all hit $1 million in sales, y'all could say, all right, Selah, look, this is what we're going to do, bro. We're going to give you, if you're doing work in the office, let's give you some hourly pay.
Yeah, at that
right?
point they give you benefits and stuff.
I don't know, no benefit,
Yeah.
no gas card, no insurance,
Yeah.
no nothing, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm like, yeah, bro, y'all been pimping me for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I went to another company, and I started to realize that I always didn't like W-2 because I see my mom and dad work like crazy
Mhm.
to not make ends meet.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, if I'm a sales, there's no limit.
Yeah.
Like I would be in a meeting and I closed a website for like $8,000 in 1 hour. Right now, I didn't make that $8,000, but my commission on that was great. But
Mhm.
if my mom and my dad will work 1 hour, they probably getting paid like 15, 20 bucks for that
Yeah.
same 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's all the same, bro. Meaning that no matter you have a job or if you in sales, somebody coming up on top of it ain't you.
Mhm.
If I go out and generate $1 million worth of revenue for a company, I didn't make $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So the way I see it is I'm doing 80% of the work, but getting 20% of the commission.
Mhm.
If I'm a lion and I go out, I hunt a gazelle, kill the gazelle, drag that thing back to the village, why the hell should I get the leg?
Yeah.
I did all the work.
Mhm.
Right. So I never wanted to own a business.
Oh,
You know,
really? You didn't even want
I never wanted, because
Yeah.
man, that seemed like a lot of work. You got
Yeah.
employees, you got this, you got to hire, you got to fire. I always thought that just being the sales, selling a product and not actually doing the work was the way to go. But guess what? I ended up selling it and did the work. And I made a lot of money for other people, while if I leave, none of those clients are mine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I never signed a non-compete with them. I went to another marketing company.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And that started this whole feud. And I'm trying not to get into details,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
bro, they drug my name through the mud.
Oh, really?
Right. So
Interesting.
now when that company laid me off, because they laid off everybody after 6 months, I'm sitting here, I got all the skills, all this talent, no damn job.
And you got a baby.
And I got a baby on the way. So the way it worked was, so I got laid off first, right? And so now I'm trying to go to these other marketing companies, like locally, but I got so much heat on my name, they don't want to hire me because that's bad. You know,
I
that's,
see.
you know, for their business and their recognition. When you go to another marketing company, they're kind of like the corporate ones, right? And what I learned because I think at the time I was probably like 20, 21, maybe 22, still in my young 20s,
Mhm.
don't even matter.
Mhm.
When you need something is when people see a chance for leverage. I needed
Yeah.
a job,
Yep.
right? And because they know who I am. I took like 20 clients from people. Like I told you, my work schedule when I was in marketing sales, it was crazy, but I was always hungrier than everybody else.
Mhm.
I had to start my stuff from scratch, and I had to keep building. Some other people, you know, they probably got parents and, you know, support system.
Yeah.
I am the support system.
Yeah.
You know, like if I had 2 phones, I call for backup, the other one ringing in my pocket. I'm the backup. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I always worked a lot harder.
Mhm.
And so the point is that when I was at those interviews, they would give me a crappy commission structure. Take this or take nothing. Because
Mhm.
we know you're good, but we're gonna have you work for pennies on the dollar. I know I needed a job, but like I know my worth, bro. And
Mhm.
so it's like, and as a man, if you have a family, it's like, am I being prideful for not taking something? And then my wife was like, hell no, man,
Yeah.
don't take that. Why would you do that? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. All right. So I had this photo booth, and I got into that because when the first company I ended up leaving, the first marketing company, I was kind of venturing off to kind of see what else I would want to do, because I never knew anything about marketing. I don't got no degrees. I don't got no paperwork to show I went to a fancy university. I'm just a kid in my car that had a bunch of ambition and made it.
Mhm.
Period.
Yeah.
End of story. I was LeBron James, bro. I went straight from high school into the big leagues.
Yeah.
No college,
Yeah.
right? So all I knew was marketing,
Mhm.
but I never even gave myself a chance or opportunity to figure out, is there anything else out there that I like?
Yeah.
So I got an opportunity. So if you ask about me in my local community, bro, I'll be cracking these jokes now. And this dude seen me at this networking event, and he approached me to be a DJ because he thought I'd be a great MC. That's kind of how I found out about, like, that's what my first like photo booth that I see. And I was like, bro, this would be dope. I can just get this and I can start renting it out to people.
Mhm.
But I never had the intention of doing it full time, because obviously I had my salary
Yeah.
job with the other marketing company.
Mhm.
When they laid me all off, bro, and I'm going through that. So like, you know, I'm laid off. I got $0 in every bank account, maxed out credit cards, broke down car, broke
Wow.
AC, and my wife just dropped that bomb on me. I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, man, you better get to work.
Yeah.
And I asked my wife, I say, hey, you know, I'm not going to keep waiting around for people to tell me I'm good enough to have a job. I'm thinking about just renting this photo booth. And she was like, go for it.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, like, when people look at me, they'll say like, bro, you're a success story. I'm like, nah, it's a love story.
Mm.
When I was in my car at 19 years old with no job, no direction of where I wanted to go in life, the way I figured it out was that I had my wife, and she was my girlfriend at the time, but I had my wife there, and I didn't want to disappoint her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she came, and like the kid that's getting kicked out of every school, and I saw that's his troublemaker or whatever. She's like, I love you, I believe in you, and you're gonna make it through this.
That's awesome.
So, and if you love somebody, you should change,
Mm-hmm.
because it's positive change and it's negative change.
Yeah.
When people say like, oh man, like if somebody want to change me for who I am, don't love me for who I am, I ain't gonna be with nobody. Well, that's why you by yourself.
Yeah.
That's exactly why you sitting there with no damn body, eating ice cream, binge watching. You know what I mean? Like TV shows.
Call me out here, bro.
My bad. You know, we'll edit that one out.
No,
You
it's
know?
fine.
But like, so if this is the person that I love, and like that was the only person in my corner speaking life into me, telling me like, man, you're gonna be a great man, and one day everybody gonna see it. While I'm in my car, I never wanted to disappoint her. So when she told me like, yeah, you can rent that photo, I believe you can do that. And plus, man, the rent's due in like 30 days. So
Yeah.
all right, cool. So I started renting it out. But here's the part that got really, really tricky. Because I had so much heat on my name,
Yeah.
95% of my circle of influence did not pick up the phone.
Really?
Hey, I got this photo booth. You got any events? No answer. So it's kind of like they did not want to do business with me because of the perceived image from other people.
Yeah, that's rough. Was that here in LaPorte?
LaPorte, yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I felt like, how the hell do I get blackballed in the industry, which is the photo booth industry, and I'm brand new?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
don't happen.
that's
So
rough.
like, I looked at it and I'm losing on every level.
Yeah.
So this is where I knew I needed to focus. And like, I know it's probably like a weird segue into this, but my granddad told me how to play chess when I was 9. And one time I was playing a chess game with him, and I was always reacting to what he did. He'll make a move and I'll make a move, but it was always like defensive.
Yeah.
And he got mad at me. He was like, man, stop that.
Go on the attack.
Yeah. And I was like, what? He was like, man, like life is like a game of chess, right? Like you live your life how you play it. And he was like, the biggest mistake that you can make is reacting to what other people do. You know, like you playing this game, why aren't you making moves? Like, I'm scared, I'm nervous. Like, don't be. You know what I mean? Because like when you react to other people, and this is what he told me, like my granddad, cool dude, still alive, still kicking. That's my dog. I talk to him all the time. Hey man, when you start reacting to what other people do, you actually lose power, and you abandon your strategy, and you gave them control over the board.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to make it in life and be a good chess player, bro, you need to learn what's called a power move. When you make power moves, that
Force them to react.
it's right. It hits them with such an impact.
Yeah.
Where now you force them to react, right? They lose their power and you can take control of the board. That's what I felt like. And I always remember, and no matter what I was going through in life, that always stuck with me. And I was like, all right, I need to make a power move because right now I got this photo booth and I got all these problems I just told you about. And I need income and nobody's paying attention to me. And I can't get people to answer the phone. So now I need to figure out, how do I actually start getting bookings? So this is where I started figuring out like how to really work social media, because it's like that Kendrick Lamar song. I don't know if you listen to it, Euphoria. He was like, if you don't want to work with me no more, okay. Y'all don't want to work with me no more, cool. I need to go out and find a bigger audience, and I need to find it really quick.
Yeah.
So when I would post stuff about my photo booth, nothing. Man, those things was garbage, bro. Those reels I was making, no attention, no engagement, no nothing. But when I was like, all right, my power move is I'm gonna put what I'm going through out there.
Yeah.
My friend called me and he was like, hey man, you know, they actually out here laughing at you, got laid off. Oh, for real? Oh, you think it's funny? All right, cool. At the time, I was watching 8 Mile with Eminem and Papa Doc. If you watch the rap battle with Eminem and Papa Doc, Eminem went first. He said everything that Papa Doc was going to say about him, but he said it in like a fire way.
Yeah.
He put it out there first. So how can you diss me when everybody already know that this is what it is?
Yeah.
I said it. Now, if you say it, it's going to make you sound corny because you just repeated it.
Yeah.
So all right, y'all laughing that I got laid off. All right, cool. I took that, I started putting on social media, hey, I'm laid off with a photo booth. I got zeros in all my bank accounts. And I'm going to rent out this photo booth and it's going to get me up out my situation. Whether you hate me or not, you're going to watch because now I got your attention.
Yeah.
And if I can get your attention, I can get your money. So I started using what I was going through. And bro, that was the catalyst. That was the power move because now it's like, all right, all those people don't want to work with me or whatever. Cool. But the new audience, they're looking at me like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You got laid off.
That's a cool strategy to like basically just put your struggles out there. Like, yeah, people are going to listen to a good story, like a struggle story, because everybody has struggles in their own life. So yeah, that's awesome. That's a really smart strategy.
And so going back to the marketing sales, right? The reason I was able to run that play for the photo booth was because my third year there, part of the reason why I hit $1 million in sales is because one day I was having a conversation. I told somebody, yeah, bro, I was actually sleeping in my car. Like they seen what I became, like a dominant salesperson. I mean, all these clients I work with, you couldn't name drop a client that wasn't mine. Man, you tell me you slept in your car when you started this? Yeah, man. Bro, that's crazy. You should go tell people. And they sent me out to like talk to kids at schools and different.
Oh, wow.
When I started sharing my story of, even though I had already technically like made it, they was like, oh, wow, bro, that's really great. And people stopped seeing me as a sales rep. I'm Selah. I'm the prodigy kid that made it, right? And so when I would go into a place, even though they didn't know me personally, they knew of me and they took the meeting. So part of me sharing my story really was it helped me hop over this wall of just being a sales guy.
Nice.
Nah, man, bro, that's Selah, bro. That man, he be beating these problems that nobody else could beat. I took that same play and I ran it and it worked.
Nice.
That became what I started using as like a story to like put it through all the noise. Like I started to stand out. Then I know now that I got your attention because the story reels them in, right? But you also have to have the authenticity, which that's what keep them. When people see me online, I show up like this.
Yeah.
Because I know that a lot of people on social media, all they do is show wins. When did you ever lose? You let them tell it. I've been winning. It makes no sense. It's not real. Like if you go to watch a movie, right? Let's say like Rocky, and you show up to the movie theater, and at the end of the movie, you show, I won, I was victorious, I defeated him. Defeated who? Like, so that's not realistic. Yeah. I don't mind showing people, hey, this is a loss that I took.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because don't judge me based on my
good story. Yeah. Well, I like that telling your that's like probably my biggest flaw with my marketing is I'm so like I only show behind the scenes of what I do and I don't tell any stories or nothing. And yeah, maybe I should implement that now that you're saying that.
The thing is, when it comes to telling, like, and this is what I've been learning since I understand that a lot of people, they're not in my situation. I had to learn how to use social media or be homeless. Yeah. You put anybody in that situation, anybody with the right amount of drive is going to figure it out. So it's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because everybody, like, they get business other ways. That was the only way for me to get business. Yeah. But what I tell people is social media, the essence of social media was made for people. Yeah. Not for businesses. Yeah. So when you see businesses show up on social media masquerading like a person, nobody cares. Yeah. Because people, they have these fears of being on camera, putting themselves out there, being judged, what other people are going to think. I put my stuff out there. I don't care what you think. If you got a problem with it, come see me in person. Yeah. And we'll talk about it. But like, from my experience, when I put it out there, I've not gotten not one negative person hating or really. Nah, man. That's because awesome. People go through stuff. Yeah. Life be life in everybody.
Yeah. I feel like on social media, Facebook especially, I tend to like not want to post anything because like if I post like for instance, someone recently their truck got tree fell on it. Yeah. And I was just like commenting like because they were working out with their insurance company wouldn't total out the truck. And I was like, well, is your frame bent? Because like on my truck, I'm in a Facebook group and everybody talks about how if their frame bends, even if their airbags didn't go off, if the frame bent, it's totaled. The insurance company will total it out. But it's not every truck, obviously, because like some trucks are more expensive. But my truck, I guess, is not worth the cost to swap out a new frame.
Okay.
And so that's all I posted was, is the frame bent? Because maybe they'll total it out if the frame's bent. And I had some lady go crazy. That's never happened before. Nobody's ever lost their truck or had their truck totaled because it was frame bent. And I'm like, what are you talking? Why are you attacking me? So that's like, I had to post screenshots of the other group where like, look, this has happened. I posted like 6 different examples and they like weren't having it. So I just deleted my comment. Yeah. Because I'm like, dude, that's why like with social media, I feel like so for instance, I also do these reviews of cameras. Like I did like a little walkthrough of the menu on a camera. I had people a bunch of people liked it. Right. But there was like one day where like 3 people were like, this is a terrible video. It's the worst video I've ever seen. It makes me not want to post because you just get these people just like attacking you for no reason. So I don't know if you've experienced that, but I've
not experienced that.
It happens to me all the time. I
do not comment in the groups because of that. Because of that reason, because you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
A group full of people that all they do is complain and be negative. I don't post anything in these groups, right? Yeah. But what I will say is like, I understand that I'm not going to be for everybody. Yeah. Some people, stuff I post, they might really, really hate it. But guess what? Even if they commenting, you still helping the algorithm, dog.
Yeah. That's what I told them. I was like, I just said, thanks for driving the algorithm or something.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I appreciate it.
Comments. You just, you help.
They ended up deleting their comments when I said that, except one guy, he left it up, but I'm
sorry about that. That hasn't happened for me.
It happens like, I feel like more often when it's like, that one particular one, that lady was probably just having a bad day or something. I don't know. Right. But, with the truck thing, but the stuff on YouTube's like another beast in itself. Like people feel that they could just say anything and like people will be having a bad day and they'll just go off on you for no reason. Yeah. And so I've learned to like not pay attention.
Sometimes you gotta just ignore it. But that's part of the fear. And what's so crazy, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. Because they're like, man, you put this stuff out there and aren't you scared? And I told him like, when you seen, like, because I grew up in Cleveland and like, where's the hood? Like we being real, bro. You see stuff, right? So if you've seen what my eyes have seen, and you've been through what I've been through, like the fear it's a difference. Like I'm scared of stuff, right? But I fear nothing.
You're more scared of failure than you are of
that too.
Yourself.
Yeah, I'm more scared of being homeless. Yeah, right. But like like scared, that's an emotion. Fear is in your heart. Yeah, I'm scared of stuff. I fear nothing. Yeah, like I said, if you got a problem, yo, bro, you come see me and we'll talk about it, right? Like, because when you've been through a lot, bro, like the fear part, it just gets numb. Yeah. And then like if I feel that anything ever puts fear in my heart, I'm gonna confront it. Because growing up, bro, I got bullied and like beat up a lot and stuff. And I just got tired of it. So if I feared somebody, we gonna fight every single day till I'm not scared of you no more. And people will be like, man, this dude, I just beat you up yesterday. We don't have to beat me up again. Because if as long as I walk away, and like, when you gonna stop fighting me? Because he can't, the dude was like, hey, bro, it's just like, stop. Man, why do you keep fighting me? Because I'm scared of you. Like you put fear in me. And I'm gonna keep fighting you until I walk away where I don't fear you anymore. But the stuff that, like I said, the stuff that you learn in the streets, it applies to like business, but it's good life principles. Like if I fear something, like I feared being in my car with my family, bro. That was the failure part. I feared the failure. I'm about to confront it. I'm about to meet it head on. I'm about to bring this gorilla with me and we gonna figure out what everything's about. Certain people, when they make comments and stuff like that, bro, they got nothing better else to do at the time. You see what I'm saying? And so, but like, I'm not gonna let what other people say stop me from, and also like fear is it can be in your brain. Like you know what I mean? Like people, like if you want to do something, what's stopping you? Let's say creating content. You have a phone. A lot of people got these nice iPhones now. What stop you? Oh, well, this person might do that. Okay, well, as long as you keep living worrying about what other people think, you're gonna be stuck. Yeah. Like anybody that get outside their comfort zone, it's a saying. It's called step out and find out. You step out here and you're gonna find out. Yeah. Like,
so bring me back to where how you like you started getting into the Facebook side of things, and what was the launch like for that photo booth
So
business?
what do you mean by like what was the one?
So like you brought me up to the point where
Right.
you had like 30 days rents due.
Mhm.
Let me start
All right.
posting. So where are we there?
So I remember I made a video. It was at the library in LaPorta. The video wasn't great, but I told people, hey, I run a photo booth business, right? And I figured out like organically, you can, if nobody wants to pay me attention, people didn't bring me onto their podcast. I'm by myself. I need to generate my own buzz, right? My own sauce, my own attention basically, right? So I put out there that I started this photo booth business, and I put out there that I got laid off from my job. People were commenting. I was commenting back. And that's like a hack to the algorithm.
The interaction. Yeah.
The interaction. And I started to put that together. I'm like, oh, snap. And then the views started going up on the videos and the likes and all this different stuff. So that was one part of it. The other part of it, I just added a whole bunch of people that had mutual friends.
Oh, yeah.
I was sat there all night, click to Facebook, said, hey, I can't do that.
I did that within like the last year. I had like 300 friends. Now I have like 3,000.
Yeah. Like, do I know all these people? Hell no.
Yeah, exactly.
But I need an audience.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
that's how I actually met Seth, who I now partner with in to do podcasts in Crown Point. If you guys are watching, you got to film a podcast like this. We got a studio in Crown Point in the square. But I was just adding people, random people, basically. Since I had friends who were musicians and I did musician recordings for their promos and their event, their band performances. Anybody, I still do it to this day. Anybody who has an instrument in their profile pic, add friend. So
yeah, dude. Like, so that strategy is how I started getting like the friends and the numbers up, and then when I knew that these people, because I would do the math. I'm like, all right, bro, 1.9 people viewed this, and I know it's organic. Like on my post, you got 2.4 thousand friends or followers. That's enough. Now I have these people, and I started funneling them over to my business Facebook page. I invited them to like everything.
Okay, yeah.
So now that they're funneling, but here's the kicker. Like, these people are invested in my story. They're invested in me. They want to see where I take it, right? Because I done put out this bold statement. I got laid off from running this photo booth, and I'm not going to fail. So now they're like, okay. So even when I did that, I was getting some bookings, right? But it wasn't what my business is now, because the people that are watching, they're not going to spend their money on a sinking ship.
Yeah. Okay.
They need to see you winning in order to offer money. So even though I didn't have that many events, I learned how to repurpose content and flip it to make all these different events look different, or to make the content, the actual piece of video, right, different. So I took a video. It's a time lapse of me putting up a flower wall, right, for my photo booth business. And what I like to do is, because I like to inspire people, because obviously I have a very inspiring, motivational story. So I try to find great, inspiring, motivational sound bites, because now that's a new audience that just might watch that clip and about me doing setting up. I'm just doing a setup for my photo booth business. But they might see that clip and see me working, and that might inspire them to actually start doing something for their business. Nothing related to photo booths, right? So I would get a motivational soundbite, and then now that's one video. So let's break this down. I have a time-lapse video. Now I add a motivational soundbite to the time-lapse video, right? Now I'm adding captions to that soundbite video. That's 3 different videos, right? Now I can also add a different trending audio to that video. I can add a different soundbite to that video. It's the same video, it's just packaged different.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So now I put these different videos out there. One of them hit. That same video, and I was like adding different captions. So when I say captions, sometimes I mean like the actual words that go across the bottom. But the video that hit was me explaining my story while I was setting up the video. So it's a soundbite by Jelly Roll, and he was talking about when he was, I think it was at some kind of award ceremony. VMA Award, something like that. But he was like, the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror for a reason. Like, you're gonna make it. It's your season. It was something along those lines, right? And I had flashing captions. So I was laid off from my job. That's the first thing that people saw. And I had that show up first because when people are scrolling on Instagram, a lot of time the sound is off.
They'll see it and stop.
Right. Yeah. So, oh snap. So now they'll click the sound to listen to it. So I was laid off from my job. Bam, showed up, disappeared. I had 0 on every bank account, bam, disappeared. Now I started running a photo booth business, bam, disappeared. Now I'm making 600 to 2 grand per booking. And plus, so people are seeing that, and that's what hit. I hit like 8,000 views. I got like 3 bookings from that video. Anytime I posted something about the photo booth, it never hit. Anytime I posted something that was related to what people are going through or related to what I was going through, it hit. Why? Because it's about the story, right? And being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So vulnerability equals relatability, which equals memorability. When you're vulnerable, people can relate to you. If they can relate to you, they can remember you. So like I started figuring out this formula. And so when I started putting it out there, to answer your question, like the launch point, I just kept putting clips about, hey, this what happened. But I got this event. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. Right. And then what I tell people is the reason why my business is trending right now is because I built a personal brand. If you build a personal brand and you are the personal brand, it don't matter what you're selling, bro. If people like you, they'll do business with you. I rent photo booths.
Yeah.
Right. And you will have people out there, they'll diss iPad-based photo booths, which is what I started with. Oh, iPad-based photo booths, their picture quality is not that great. They're not great quality. You should work with me because I do better quality pictures. Okay. But that's their marketing position behind what they do because they feel like it's about the photo booth. It's not about the photo booth. If yours takes such better quality, how come you ain't doing that good? Right?
Yeah.
So it's about the person that's using the thing that makes the thing powerful. Right?
Yeah.
So like, for example, your phone. I'll say it real quick. So check this out. So this is a phone, right? To some people, this is an entertainment device.
Yeah.
TikTok, Netflix, right? Scrolling, just becoming a vegetable on their phone, just brain rot. So does that make the phone bad? No, you give it to somebody else and watch what they do with it.
Yeah.
So you get me you get me the phone, bro. It's a communications device. It's a time management device. It's a video production device. It's about who's using the thing that makes the thing powerful, right? So like when people look at it, all you do is rent photo booths. All right, well, how come other people that's renting photo booths, they got the same exact photo booth for me? How come it's just the photo booth?
Yeah.
But when I get my hands on it, it's an experience. It's about the person that's using the thing. You know what I mean? So when it comes to content, I really figured out like, all right, man, you need to share stuff with people that they can relate to. And it's just my situation, but that's when I told you the story reels them in, but the authenticity is what keeps them. I'm showing up this is me all day long. And if you're the same person everywhere you go, it's easy to be yourself on camera. A lot of times when people are trying to build a personal brand, they think it's supposed to be professional.
Yeah.
And that's not who you are.
Yeah.
Right?
100%. Actually, I agree with this. So partially why I grew my hair back out because like when I was younger, I had my hair real long because that's just like who I was. And I cut it because I was graduating college, had to go into the corporate world.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what they want. So I cut my hair and kept it short. And it was like a couple of years ago. Well, it was during COVID. I noticed all these other people are starting to grow their hair out. And I was like, wait, is it okay now?
Right.
Like you guys could grow. And they're like, that was mostly because a result of like not having hairdressers open and stuff. But when I saw that, I was like, well, if you're not getting haircuts, then I'm going to go back to no hair.
Right.
And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I run my own business at this point. I used to work corporate jobs.
Yeah.
I worked in IT. I worked in marketing. I started in a call center, just answering phones for a loan company. God, it was terrible. I actually had to call people at one point, call them at their home and their business to try and get them to pay their loan. And they would tell me, oh, I can't pay because you kept calling my work and I got fired because of it. Shit like that. And I had to talk people down off the ledge. Like,
right.
Because they like literally multiple times people were like, I think I'm just going to end it. And I had like, no, it's okay. Like, don't worry about this loan. Like, who cares, man? Like, and like, I literally talked people down off the ledge before.
Right.
But, what was my,
you were saying like you agree with me because you don't have to be too professional.
Yeah. So I used to try and be way more professional with it, with my business and everything.
Yeah.
And I at some point was like, you know what? I see other people, especially in this business, it's sort of an artist type thing. So I was like, I can grow my hair out. Nobody's going to judge me or care. And since I grew it back out same business, didn't see anything different.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So I try to present myself somewhat professionally, but I'll be honest, like I can't wear a full suit because I'll just sweat too much when
Oh,
yeah. All this gear around and stuff. I like, so I usually just wear like a black polo when I'm working, but I have been trying to dress a little better. But I need to get a suit. I don't fit.
I don't wear suits.
I don't have a suit anymore. I know, but specifically, like I want to get a suit for videos because you never see like people when I see them, not a tie, but just like a nice shirt like yours and
a little blazer,
yeah. Just because I noticed like when I'm watching videos, I take people more seriously when they're like dressed nice. Like even you, how you're dressed right now, I feel like I'm a bum right now. And you have like a nicer shirt. This is at least a semi decent shirt. I'm not wearing it like a regular t-shirt.
Oh, yeah,
but still, you look like a businessman. Like I want to hear about like, oh, this guy's successful. Look at his nice shirt and stuff. Like he's presenting himself very like professional.
Well, I went to a networking event before I came here. It was a prestigious one. So,
okay. Is that why? That's why you're...
I mean, usually whenever I go out and like I'm doing my sales day, I do dress like this.
Yeah.
Because people treat you how you look.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
but
you know,
at
like
the same time, you can still be yourself. I feel
exactly
because like the long hairs. Because I noticed there was this one guy who had long hair and people like treated him differently as a photographer. They're like, oh, he's an artist because he has long hair.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to just grow my hair back out too.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk about like the personal branding aspect of it. Like it's a good thing and a bad thing because you look at it like being a personal brand, like that's a good sales tactic. People want to hire you specifically because they know you and stuff. That's awesome. Like, but at the same time, I was told by photographers, older photographers who are like getting ready to retire and stuff, don't make it such a personal business that you can't have somebody else run it because at some point you might want to sell the business.
Right.
And so now it's hard with a service-based business to sell it, but in order to sell it, you're selling the name and you're selling any contracts you have in place. So if you can get long-term contracts, personally, I don't have any long-term contracts. It'd be nice if I could. I haven't really figured out a good way to do that, but I just stay so busy with my corporate clients that I never bother to do long-term contracts. But like that's the sort of thing that you're selling, and like almost to bring it full circle, how you were working in marketing and then you decided, you know what, let me just build my own business. Maybe even take it a step further at this point, because I've there was this podcast I was watching with some guys who were in marketing. It was like a marketing podcast.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was, but he was like, you know what? I've been building, like he ran a marketing company, and he's like, I've been building all these people's businesses for them. Like I know how to make a business successful, any business. Like I take them from here to there, like really quickly. Why am I doing this for them? Why? So what he did is he's like, I'm just going to start my own businesses. And he didn't just start like one. Well, he started with one, but he now owns multiple businesses. And like, there's things that like he didn't know anything about. I think it was a pool cleaning business in like Arizona. So they always need pools cleaned 365 days a year. And so him and a buddy just like looked up videos online how to clean pools. And so he ended up having his buddy be his first employee. Once they figured out how to clean them, his buddy would go clean the pools and he would make the sales. And he ended up getting enough people on like a retainer. He was able to like keep hiring more people because he just figured out easy ways. Because it's like he figured out easy businesses where you can train people easily to do the work. And so with the pool cleaning, you can train basically anyone. And so he scaled that up to the point where now he's got this whole neighborhood, and then now he's got this whole neighborhood, and he's like just locking down these contracts for the like longer term contracts on all these neighborhoods. And he's like working with HOAs now. And so I think it took him like 1 year to build this business up, and he sold it for like $5 million or something. Like in the same, or maybe it was only $1 million, but it was enough to where it was like, oh, wow, this is life changing. And so after that, he went on to like a pesticide business, like spraying around people's homes and stuff. And he was like, you know what, this is like, I know how to build a business, so maybe that's something you can even think about yourself, since you know so much about marketing. And like, honestly, just talking to you, you are using some really good strategies that I haven't even like thought of myself. I worked in marketing, but I worked on the billing side, so I didn't really do the strategy side.
And I will say this too, like to your point, like, or your question about like building a personal brand for a business up to a point where you can't sell it. I understand that, right? And but some people you gotta just do what you gotta do. Like for me, there was I didn't see any other way.
I don't think it's bad to start off with a personal brand either. Because this puts you in the limelight of, now if you start another business, everybody already knows like you're the guy who like is good at running these businesses.
And that's why I said, like, when you build a personal brand, it don't really matter where you're selling. And I was reading this in the Bible the other day, and I might butcher it. So the Bible heads, man, don't be, don't get mad at me. But it was saying, it said that you should chase a good name rather than great name rather than great riches, which I believe. Cool. When you have and really, I relayed that to like the personal branding, because if you take the being online part out of it, and let's just stick locally, I think it's easier for people to understand what a personal brand actually is. All a personal brand is how people perceive you. How do they feel about you? Right. So when going back to that, having a great name, who are you, bro? Are you the same? Like if I ask people, 5 people of your friends, 5 of your friends, give me 5 characteristics that you could say about George, right? 5 characteristics that will explain George. If they all come back different, you don't have a strong personal brand. They should all say the same. It should be some things that overlap. He's funny, he's smart, he's intelligent, he's caring, he's kind. I should have something. So if you don't have a bunch of people in your community that all say the same thing about you, you don't have a strong personal brand. It could be negative or it could be positive. Man, I don't want to work with so-and-so dude because he's an a-hole. If everybody say you a-hole, your personal brand is you a-hole. Right? So the problem people have is having a personal brand. Like, who are you authentically? Your true, free, pure self. Take that version of you and put it online. That's what people struggle with. You know what I mean? And so, like, even though, like, maybe since if I build this photo booth business around me and I can't sell it, whatever. You know what I mean?
No, it is what it is. That's how I am too. Like, I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong.
No, I feel it, but I'm saying like,
I'm kind of more of bouncing ideas right now. But like personally, like, so I started off George Niksch Photography. That's how I sort of started my business. And Chewy, the little dog's over there. So I started off with George Niksch Photography because that's just like how every photographer does it. And I wasn't like, I mean, I've always been entrepreneurial for sure. And that's mainly because my grandpa, he owned businesses. So that, like, just kind of watching him and as I was growing up and stuff, that's what, like, I did other things, selling weird random things. And I guess my first sort of venture was where I started like investing into a business was audio production. Like, I would record bands in my parents' basement. And I use like egg cartons to build the studio, you know what I mean? And
oh, you're talking about to
cover the walls and stuff. Actually, we use candle holders because somebody worked at like Yankee Candle or something like that. One of those, or Bath and Body Works or something like that. I worked at Bath and Body for a short time, but I always worked I worked at a lot of retail jobs and knew that because I worked at JCPenney, Gordon's Food Service. I also worked at McDonald's. That was my first job when I was like 14. I knew I didn't want to work in food. And then when I got into retail, I was like, yeah, this is not fun. Like, even when I went to Ball State, and even after college, like, I had to go back into retail and I hated it. And then like I worked some factory jobs, hated that too because it's just so boring. And
I feel you on the factory thing.
yeah,
Them factory joints, bro. They not fun.
I ended up I did get lucky working at WFYI in Indianapolis for like a year after college. And I ran sound for a year before that in Indianapolis. So I did like sound and then working at PBS doing video.
Yeah.
And I just like wasn't making any money. Like I was only making like $10 an hour, and then they cut my hours because they just didn't really have the business to need that many hours. And I was working at Amazon at the same time. So like basically from as soon as I like got down to Indianapolis, I was just working 24/7. I was working 80 hours a week because they did have me at 40 hours when I started at WFYI, 40 hours there, but it was an internship.
Okay.
So I was working 40 hours for free.
Right.
And then working 40 hours at Amazon. So I would like literally go work at PBS from like 9 to 5 and then go work at Amazon from like 6 to whatever, another 8-hour shift, whatever that is, get off at like 4 in the morning or something and then do it all over. I would sleep like 3 hours a night. But Chewy, my dogs, come here. Sorry, everybody at home. Chewy's acting crazy. But so, yeah, doing all that stuff, it made me realize I do not want to have to like rely on these exhausting jobs where it just like kills you like physically. And although I went into this business where now I have back pain every day because I lift all these cameras all the time, but I love it still. But yeah, it was when I really got into the corporate work in Chicago, because I worked for 5 years in Chicago while living in Crown Point, commuting, and then also running my business at the same time. I realized corporate work is like just soul sucking because you have three different managers. None of them know what your job is, and they all tell you you're terrible at your job just so that they don't have to give you a raise. So it's literally just corporate bullshit. Like nothing is real in the corporate world.
Facts.
So I decided like I want to be my own boss, and I liked doing the stuff on the side. Like even when I was working the corporate job, I'm still working 80 hours a week or more because I would edit on the train to and from work, and then I'd edit when I get home until I go to sleep, and then I'd shoot on the weekends. So Saturday and Sunday would be like weddings, and then I'm editing those during the week while working my corporate job. Sometimes I would even, if I got done with my work, I'd pull out my laptop and start editing while I'm at work if nobody's looking. And at one point, I didn't even care anymore, and I started editing while they were looking, and they're like, "Hey, don't you have something to do?" I was like, I finished it. Delete me alone. But that was like right before I quit. Because I had and that's a big thing with any job is having managers that actually care about the person rather than like just the bottom line of the business. We have to we can't give them a raise, so we have to put them down and tell them they're a piece of shit and shit like that. I don't know, that's the corporate world sucks like that. So that's what got me into like wanting to be my own boss. And I'll be honest, I was terrible at networking, terrible at just knowing how to run a business when I started, like up until honestly COVID was like the wake-up call for me. Because in 2018 I jumped off to go full-time with my business, and I was doing okay, but I was really lucky to be living with my parents at the time because it was like up and down, and if I hadn't been living with them, I probably would have had to just go back to working another job. Like there's no way that I would have been able to support myself that first couple years. And then COVID hit, and it just like destroyed my business. Had no work for a year and a half. I went and got a job back at Amazon. I was like, all right, I guess I'm going back to the warehouse. This
Going back to the grind.
is the backup plan. And I had a broken toe at the time when I went back to work at Amazon. So after 2 12-hour shifts, my foot swelled up so big I couldn't even get it in my shoe anymore. And so I didn't even know I had a broken toe until I was working. I guess I should say I forgot I had a broken toe because I had kicked a ladder like a month before that, and I just forgot that I did that. And so I was feeling super low. I was like 30 something years old. How old would I? Let's see, 2021. That's 4 years ago. I would have been 32 years old. I'm 32 years old, living at my parents' place. I can't even work my backup plan because my toe's broken. And so I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like really feeling like a piece of shit. And I knew I had like 6 months before I had to go. Like my parents were retired and they're getting ready to sell the house and I got to be out of here. So what am I going to do? So I ended up getting really lucky with one gig. I had done a lot of live streaming back in like 2015, just doing Chewy, you want to come on the podcast to me? Here's Chewy. Say hi. So I had come on the not come on the podcast. I had come across this inquiry in a Facebook group, and that's something for my business even to this day. These photography Facebook groups are super helpful for landing gigs when you like are not even just starting out, just like when you have a slow season, like because some people they'll have better marketing or whatever, better presence online, so they'll get more inquiries than they can handle, so they just put it into the Facebook group. There's a really good one for photographers in Chicago called the Chicago Speakeasy Photographers Group. And they'll be like, hey, here's a referral, like who wants it? And a bunch of people will comment and then they just send the names off to the client. And somebody had gotten COVID, so they couldn't do this shoot. And it was a live stream. And I was like, it was like a corporate live stream. And I was like, you know what? I think I could do a corporate live stream. I haven't done one before, but I used to live stream a lot. So let me throw my name in there. So I threw my name in and they ended up going with me because at the time, nobody really, this was like when live streaming was just taking off.
Right.
So,
especially during COVID.
Yeah. Like 2021, like it was just taking off. And because like people in 2020, people wouldn't even do the live streams because they didn't want to look, corporate businesses didn't want to look like they were not adhering to the rules of like nobody in the office and stuff like that. If they had started doing stuff in the office filming, then they would have looked bad. So this was like right when it was starting to take off. And after the live stream was over, they were like, hey, do you want to, it was for a law firm. And they were like, hey, do you want to maybe film a couple interviews? Like we, our normal guy, like he's got COVID and these people who are at this event, they don't even live here. They live like somewhere else. So we want to like film them while they're here. And so I was like, I don't have my lights with me, but like I have a mic we could use. And they're like, we got lights at the office. We'll send someone to go get it. And so I filmed these interviews and they're like, oh my God, this is so good. And I was like, honestly, this is like not great for me. This is not my best work because I'm using your crappy lights. And they're like, oh, it's so much better than what we had before. And they showed me their other videographer and it was terrible. It was so bad. So I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. The other videographer was like their CEO's nephew or something. So that's why he had, and the CEO stepped down like right after that. And so that's why they were like, hey, you want to come on? And so that was my, like, that saved my business. That's why I was this close to selling all my gear, never doing video or photography again. Like that's how, after like literally a year and a half of like next to nothing, or I might have done like one gig or something, two gigs in that whole time. And so, but I love it. Like, this is what I love doing. But that was sort of my like moment where I either had to sink or swim because where I live is not going to be there. So I have to like
Right.
go.
You got to.
Yeah, I had to make some money to be able to afford an apartment and stuff, which was really hard to even get an apartment because, like I said, during COVID, I made no money. So on my tax returns, when you own your own business, they look at your tax returns. You don't have a W-2 to get an apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they're looking at my tax return like, we can't rent this apartment to you. And so I ended up having to get like a bunch of my clients to like sign off and say, he made this much this year. We're going to keep working with him. He's like, he's our regular client now. So I got real lucky with that one corporate client. And then I had a PR firm that I've been working with since like 2018 as well. And so like I had those two clients sign off and let me get that apartment. I was so happy. And I'm gonna say, I don't mean to cut you off. I know you're saying that you're lucky, bro. I don't believe in luck. I believe in opportunity creation. Like, because the fact that you told me that this dude did this live stream service and it was bonfire, hot as garbage. Right. And you came, and even in your standards, it wasn't your best work. You did better than him. Yeah. Why? Did you? Because you prepared. You knew what you were doing. Yeah. Oh, you know what? You're right. Because that whole time during COVID, I wasn't sitting around not filming. I was still filming. Come on now. Talk to me, Pastor. Come on, Pastor. What I did is I got real into lighting. Before that, like, I had these lights, but not with the grids. Right. And I didn't know how to place them properly. And so I actually invested, even though I'm like not making any money. Well, the government was giving me some money. So I took that like stimmies. Come on now. I was like, all right. So I bought some lights, better than these lights, bigger. And I started filming musicians. There's a thing called a series on my pages called Artist Underground. And so I actually was just going to do artists at first, like physical artists. My buddy is a graphic designer. And so I filmed his first, and then I had musicians reaching out. So I was like, okay, let's do musicians. So I did about 10 of these. So those Artist Underground videos are what made my lighting good. My lighting was terrible before that. Like, I honestly, looking back, I'm like, I don't know why people were even hiring me. My lighting sucked. And so when I went to that corporate gig and they gave me like, even though they gave me crappy lights, I knew how to work with them and get it to look good. And so like that is what the lighting and the live streaming literally saved my business. And that was just because I was like at home. We were live streaming music in my parents' basement during the pandemic too. Like my buddy James Guetta and Jack Whittle came over. And so like basically I didn't sit around doing nothing during COVID. And that now that I think about it, that is why. Yeah, I guarantee. Like when the opportunity came, I was ready. That's when I'm sitting here and I'm listening to it. I'm like, man, you didn't just show up and make magic happen. Because like as well as, you know, like with lighting and different things like that, like it is about placement. And so I'm thinking to myself, he probably was practicing or he was doing something. So when the opportunity came, he could deliver the goods. So it's not as like when I say the opportunity creation part, like, so the opportunity came, but you went on the Facebook like you did. You put your name, you put your name in the hat. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you got that gig, and then you went there like, oh crap, bro, I gotta make something happen. You had the knowledge because you practiced, you had all the other streaming services. And you know, I'll say this. So the other side of it, why I saved my business was my website. My website, I didn't even realize this. This is terrible to even admit, but my website had a contact form, and somehow at some point in like 2019 or 2020, I screwed up where it started sending those contacts to an email that didn't exist. Oh God. And I had no idea. Oh man. And so that's why that actually was a compounding factor of why I was getting no inquiries, because a lot of my inquiries come through email through my website. And I looked when I had all that time off, and it was like probably 2021 when I did it. I built my website on Wix, and I looked and I saw the chat thing, and there's all these chats, And I click on it, and these are all emails that I never got. And there was like 100 inquiries that I never got. And I was so mad. And I'm like, I tried to follow up with some of them, but I was like, no, these are all events and stuff that were already happened. And so I had no idea I screwed up so bad. Like it was like literally like if you guys are watching, build a website and do it proper. Pay someone to do it if you don't know what you're doing, because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
I screwed up real bad. That I could be working at Amazon right now because of that. If I didn't turn it around somehow. And so, yeah, I feel like an idiot still for that. But yeah, building, and when I fixed my website, I started looking into SEO.
Right.
And that's when I fixed all the SEO on my website and then started blogging. That's when my business took off.
Yeah.
And it took off so much that 2022, I did 33 weddings and 70 corporate gigs. And for a videographer who's like a solo videographer, I'm also editing that stuff. So for someone doing that, like,
that's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so much. Cause like, that's literally 2 shoots a week. So 2 days of the week I'm shooting. And then like the other 5 days of the week I was editing, basically.
Right.
So it was like, 2022, I worked from the time I woke up till the time I went to sleep every single day. The whole year, didn't take a single day off from like January 1st to January 1st to December
31st or something like that.
December 24th or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like I took off that last week because nobody works like that week. Like I'm not going to get a gig that week. But so because it took off so much, I haven't even really made a post since like 2023. I made like one last year and like one this year. And then just recently I started posting a little bit more with the podcast, but I know that I should post more and I know I'd get more business, but at the same time, if I'm staying busy, why even bother? So, I don't know.
So is that me going to different marketing, like, or different companies when I was in marketing sales? You have the same problem as all business owners. You know what I mean? Like the time to post. It's a constant battle.
Yeah.
But I think that's also what goes back into like that verse I told you from the Bible, is like having a good name and then like opposed to great riches. Because when you have a good name, people are gonna pay you. The money's gonna come.
And that's the other thing I did. Like I said, I was terrible about marketing before that, or networking before that. So I started going to networking events, mainly like real video production. They were called Rhoda Studio or something. The Josh Rhoda's his last name's Rhoda. But I went to some like open house they had in Illinois, and I met a bunch of videographers there, and like they had no idea I existed. I didn't know they existed. And that alone opened up my world to like, now people, there, all these other videographers now, I know them. I've gone to several of the networking events because now they're called Real Video Production, and they do networking events there. I meant to go to one recently, like a couple weeks ago, but I was just so swamped with work. I got done editing, and I look at the time, I'm like, shit, I'm not gonna make it. So whatever. But when I put my name out there and got my face in front of all these other videographers, now when there's something like a multicam live stream, they know I'm the guy to go to. I'm the only one in Northwest Indiana.
Talk to me, man.
You know,
absolutely.
So I mean, other people do multicam live streaming, but I'd argue that I'm like the best at multicam live streaming as a solo guy in Northwest Indiana. Like Region Sports Network does good, but they hire a bunch of students to run the cameras and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, and they're more on the sports side. I'm more on the corporate and wedding side. So like graduations and things like that, I should actually probably make a post about that to try and land some graduations. I had someone asking me to do Ivy Tech graduation. They just ghosted me I don't know why they do that. But
well, I was gonna say, I'll give you 2 hacks to if you're struggling with creating content consistently, I'll give you 2 hacks to help.
Okay.
The first one is the batch content method. So you record everything, or you design all your posts. You do everything in big lump sums, like go crazy. I call it front end work. It's a lot of work on the front end.
Yeah.
Then you schedule it out, right?
That's how I recommend it for businesses that hire me. If they want to hire me to make a bunch of content, do it all in one day and then
that's what I'm saying.
Post over the month.
If you're struggling with it, like the hack to creating content, one way to go about it is the batch content method. And the other one, so I follow a guy named Omar El Takari. And so I actually took some of his like programs and like coaching like sessions and stuff like that. And he literally, he talks about stop creating content and be the content. You are the content, bro.
Yeah.
That like broke my brain. So when I stopped trying to like make photo booth content and I became the content, everything was easier to put content out there because it also ties in like the personal branding or whatever. But like for you, like as you're talking and you're saying like you're a solo guy that does it, that like, so you literally are the content because you're the only one working this. You know what I mean? So like to me, that's fire. That's a great selling point. Like, man, I'm not hiring students. I come in and I do the whole thing. You don't even know it's one person.
Yeah.
When I watch these clips, bro, I can't tell it's one. I'm thinking it's like people changing camera anyway. So like, but that also ties into like the amount of work and preparation that you put. Like you invest in yourself to learn that kind of stuff, right? And so like
for time and preparation, to put it in perspective for you guys at home, I've spent the last week, I didn't have any gigs. You know what I did? Set up a bunch of different setups because I have shoots coming up and there's shoots I've never done before. And I was like, I got to figure out how to do this. So I literally every single day this week, all I've been doing is setting up different setups to see what works and what doesn't.
Right. Yeah. But that's why you win.
Yeah.
And so like where I tell people like to be the content, if you're looking at it, like, so for people that's at home, I have a little camera, right? So I come on and I'm doing a podcast. I set up my own angles and it's filming me. So I go home, I take those clips, I'll do what I want, right? Clip them up, whatever. But if you really out there and you putting in work, you getting the gigs, you doing what you're supposed to do, your calendar becomes your content. What you're doing in your day is literally the content. So if you're already there, it makes it a lot easier to create content.
Yeah.
Right. So like if anybody, they do Zoom calls or coaching calls or whatever, right? So why don't you record those calls? The best way to get authentic content is to have people in their natural environment. Right. So like when I'm talking about photo booth business, I'll have somebody recording me and then I have somebody recording that person recording me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I'm actually mic'd up and I'm talking, I'm not nervous, right? Like, because you know what you know. And if you're an expert at what you do, like the information should literally spew out of your mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I ask you anything about live streaming, bro, you're gonna drop so much game. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I could literally talk to you for like 8 hours about camera gear.
That's how you know you're an expert.
Yeah.
When people feel like, oh, well, if I start recording stuff that I know, what if I run out of content? I'm sorry, bro. You might not be that good at what you do.
Yeah.
You might need to get more experience because like the stuff that I have in my head for marketing, bro, I can get so deep in this bag. We can be here for 40 days and 40 nights for the intro session.
Yeah.
Right. So like,
I think you know more about marketing and definitely about social media than I do. Because like everything you're talking to me about with these strategies, like it's starting to click to me a little more. And I am so bad with social media. Like the podcast I just filmed recently, my buddy, I'll be posting it this week. My buddy, Max, he's a videographer. He's like 29 and he's really good with social media. Like he's got a ton of followers. Right. He's got monetized accounts and stuff like this. And like, I've always used social media like it, maybe this is a millennial thing or something. But like for me, social media has always been my portfolio of like, hey, this is what I do. Yeah, this is what my work looks like. So I use it as a stopping place so that when someone finds my business, they have a few different places to go to know I'm legit and I'm not scamming them. That's how I've always used it. But my buddy Max is like telling me, no, like you got to use it more like more like you're trying to get views. So if you want to get views, here's how he gets views. He's a videographer for bands. He does a lot of venues in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so he'll make a video about the venue that highlights the venue, and people watch because they want to know about that venue.
Right.
And so he'll mix in like, oh, I'm filming this band today and this is what it looks like and stuff.
Right.
But like really the video is about the venue itself, and he adds the venue as a collaborator, and now he gets their whole audience.
Right.
And so like if you search Chicago videographer, he's the one who pops up. Like on Instagram, he's the first one now.
Yeah.
So like I'm trying to implement some of these like tactics more, where it's not just, I'm not just posting just purely to have it.
Exactly.
I'm posting with intent.
So that's what changed for me. When I love that you use the word tactics, because it's a tactic, right? Make your next move your best move, like a chess move. I'm not just posting to post. I'm posting with intention.
Yeah.
I'm posting with a strategy behind what I want to expect, right? So like when people are just posting about their business and they're doing like they're being consistent, great job. How's it working for you?
Yeah.
Right. And so like you have to use the tactics and different strategies, because that's what works. And I tell people, like, you know, sometimes social media is like they look at social media, they're like they're chopping a tree down with a butter knife. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being consistent.
Yeah,
I'm going at it. I'm going at it.
And it ain't crap.
And it ain't falling. But when you come at it, like, first of all, you need a different tool. Let me give you an axe, right? And you being strategic, now it's less swings and a tree fall down.
Yeah.
That's what changed for me. So like right now, my social media accounts, like I don't have millions of followers. I don't claim to be a social media guru. I'm not a social media expert. I'm just telling you, it was one season of my life where I was effed up, and now I'm not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like I'll give you a prime example. One of the things that when we talked about like doing a launch, I created a vlog series. And so just is the season that I was in my life. So it don't have to get too personal. And that's what's cool about like a personal brand.
Yeah.
It can get as personal as you want.
Yeah.
Tell them what you want them to know. So I had lost $2,500 in 2 weeks because I didn't have enough photo booths to rent out to people.
Okay, yeah.
I lost money. That's a problem for me because that was my full-time thing. Like 95% of my income is photo boothing, right? All right. So I was like, man, this would be really cool content because I'm about to go on this journey. I want to try to get $5,000 to get another photo booth. I did a vlog series, right? And so I was showing different booking strategies, what I was going through, but I started off with the pain. I lost money, right? At that time, I had 309 followers. Photo Booth Supply Company, they are the manufacturer of my photo booths. They have a marketing department with a super huge following.
Oh, nice.
They were commenting on my video. I love this, right? Because nobody else in the photo booth industry would show that, right? Like nobody does a vlog series. You can show me 100. They might do a vlog, right? One of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ain't a series. So I did this series and I end up getting $5,000. And so because I did that and I put myself out there, another vulnerability piece, I am now an influencer with that company.
Nice.
So I make a YouTube video about educational photo booth stuff, right? I get a little commission link, and when people buy photo booths, I make money.
Yeah, I just started doing that too. I just made my first Amazon affiliate sale.
Come on now. Yeah, all right, congrats, dog. Yeah,
15 cents.
Hey, but it's evergreen content and you can put it out there, people will keep buying it. You know what I mean? So it's like I just opened up another revenue stream for my business.
Yeah.
You have another revenue stream for your business. And so like I don't know who's an influencer with 309 social media followers.
Yeah.
But the point was like I was being tactical when I did that, because I was like, first I just started putting the vlogs out there. But when I seen them commenting on my stuff, I'm like, I got their attention.
Yeah.
So I just shot my shot. I said, hey, you know, I'm wrapping up this vlog series. I think I've reached a lot of people doing photo booths. I mean, people in New Zealand, different countries. I really impacted a lot of people. I would love to kind of do like a series, like hop on a podcast and just talk about the vlogs and kind of do like a recap when people can ask questions about different strategies I use or whatever. They said yes.
Nice.
So I was on this video podcast with them.
Nice.
And now, so that was a tactical thing.
Where did they film it?
It was through it was virtual.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I was like, man, they already liking my stuff. Let me see if I can get on their podcast because I got their attention. So that was a tactic, right? It's a little strategy. I got on the podcast, but now I'm on this platform. I'm not just going to talk about the vlogs. This is where I can talk about my story. And I was like, man, if they think that I got a really good story with their product and it's a success story, what if they make me an influencer?
Yeah.
I thought about that, and so it happened.
Nice.
Right. So I was moving pieces like, hey, man, I'm gonna shoot my shot. But they was like, yeah, man, like you're on your way. And we want to make you we want to make you an influencer. So like I said, don't claim to be a guru, but when you start actually posting with intent and purpose, you shouldn't be surprised when you get back.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you go and you like, we let's talk about dating. When you go and you trying to flirt with somebody, your intention is, I want you to be my girlfriend. If she say yes, are you surprised? Nah, my intention was for you to be my girl.
Yeah.
Right? So like the only people who shocked is the people that ain't prepared for it. So like, man, that's why I said, I love that you said tactic.
Yeah.
When people are doing social media, you need to have a strategy.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have to have the same strategy. Like the guy you say, your homie who has people as collaborators and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Great strategy. And it works for him. You have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
Right? My goal was never to go viral. My goal was to add value.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because and people, when they're talking about like creating actual content, you ever seen these people which like, well, you got all this gear, so you understand, right? No, man, I need this camera and that camera. No, you don't. Just use what you have.
Yeah, it's funny because I have all these very expensive cameras, and I use for my YouTube videos, I use like YouTube, and for my own branding on Instagram and stuff, I use a 10-year-old cheap camcorder. And it's funny, my video buddy, he was even like, what camera is that? It's so crisp looking. I'm like, what? It's 10 years old. It's like literally the cheapest camera I got. Like it's worth nothing.
Yeah.
But
like you use it.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah.
And it's cool, bro. It's like,
it's more about like the content, what you're putting into it. That's why I still tell people you could film it on your phone and stuff.
Right.
Like it's weird. I'm in a weird sort of position because it's like you would think that I would try to push a small business like, hey, hire me, I'll come film your thing.
Yeah.
But realistically for me, my bread and butter is not small businesses. Like I help them out, and some small businesses hire me, and like it's awesome like that I can make them look good, because some of them are just not tech savvy at all.
Right.
And so they don't want to bother trying to film it, or like when they do try to film it, it just turns out bad. So like some people need someone like me, but like the real bread and butter of my business is corporate, and corporate wants it to look a certain way. It has to be like a certain level of content quality. They can't film stuff on their phone because their audience expects that they're millions of dollars that they got. They're going to spend some of that to get a better thing. But when you have the personal brand, it's almost better to use your phone for a personal brand, because people don't want to see this highly polished stuff. Like that highly polished stuff is not going to work to connect on a personal level.
But this is why companies struggle to reverse engineer it. Like we're showing up as a personal person because social media is meant for people, so we get more interaction. Like companies are struggling to get. That's why all these, like even the corporate companies, they start doing all these trends and all this stuff to be cool. Well, guess now you trend chasing. So now when you're not doing a trend, you don't get no views. Why? Because we know that you don't really have a brand to connect to. Like your content has to have something of substance, something of value to make people stop doing what they're doing to pay attention to you. So like even if one thing I think that Photo Booth Supply Company, they did, and it's really smart, I want to call her a social media manager, but her name is Amber. She is the face of the social media. She is the personal brand of the social media, right? And so she makes all the content. She's on TikTok. She's on all these platforms. And honestly, like she's the reason why I purchased a photo booth, because I kept seeing her and she was so personable. She's like a regular person talking about photo booths and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I purchased one because I like the personality and the energy she gave off through social media. Yeah. If a lot of corporate companies had a social media person, I know it's hard to because people leave jobs or whatever, but I would argue if you take care of people, they'll stay forever or whatever. If they had somebody that was in their social media department, hey, learn our brand voice. learn how we want to show up online that embodies everything about this company, and go be that on social media. Now people can see a person and they're gonna fall in love with the person. And this is why, like, when you see like Nike and like all these bigger people, who is their personal brand? It's the athletes that people like.
Yeah.
Because they associate these athletes or something. And
that's
like
true.
Cam Newton, Steph Curry, LeBron. But guess what? As soon as they F up, they out the door, right? But they pick people that everybody likes.
Yeah.
For faces of their brands, and people connect with them. Like Steph Curry, he chose Under Armour. I've never seen so many young people wear Under Armour.
Yeah.
During that time period, it was cool. When I used to go to the court, I got roasted if I had on anything less than LeBron's,
Really?
Kobe's, Jordans. If you didn't have a certain shoe brand, you showed up with like, I don't know, like a garbage basketball player or no name at all. What is those? You remember they were like, what is those? Right? And so he made it cool. So like, that's why I'm really big on like, you have to find a ways like relate to people.
Yeah.
Because once you're relatable, you're likable and memorable.
Yeah.
And so like, I mean, even talking to you, dude, great personality. You got tons of knowledge, bro. Like if you go on,
thanks. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's all good, but and say that on camera. I might not know.
I'll figure it out though.
Yeah, the teacher might not know how to teach this song. Because it's real.
Yeah.
And then like go on the personal brand journey, and I promise you, like it worked for me in 2 situations. The first one was when I was sleeping in my car. Share my story about how I was sleeping in my car. All this stuff. People like me, $1 million in revenue. Now the photo booth, right? And it's my thing is blowing up. And the beautiful part about it is all organic, no paid ads.
Yeah.
All organic.
Yeah, I've never ran a paid ad either. And I don't even have, you got more social media following than I do. I only have like 800 people on my,
that's it?
On my Instagram.
Oh, my phone's over.
Or I might be up to 900. But
I'm about to say, I thought you were up there a bit.
No, I got 962 now. Okay, so that's actually, and you know what? It's so hard for me to grow a following, I feel like, because compared to some videographers, because a lot of videographers have bunch of different clients.
Yeah.
And so when you get more clients, you kind of gain more followers. Like every time you get a new client, you're gaining a bunch of followers from them, especially if you do those collab posts. But for me, I have like a couple big clients that really like, that's 90% of my work.
Right.
And so it's like, I don't have like that exposure to go with like these new clients. That's why I started the podcast.
Right.
Because I wanted to branch out and get in front of other audiences because I was like, well, nobody knows who, like when I make a post about this big law firm in Chicago, nobody really cares because they're like, well, that's not someone I know personally.
Yeah.
But like,
see, but this is why it's about to be so fire. Like, I'm so excited for you to like, just try it, man. Start making content about yourself.
Yeah.
Because what I found is I work with a couple videographers and photographers, like for like some of my photo booth stuff. These people are great. They're masters behind the camera. But when they get in front of the camera, they turn into weirdos. It's like, bro, what the hell?
See,
like,
that, because of live streaming, and like I used to vlog and stuff before, like back in the Casey Neistat days when he was real popular. I was doing like Casey Neistat style vlogs on my Turtle Time TV channel. Yeah, it was always my fun channel, and that's where I would live stream playing video games with my buddy. So I got real comfortable on camera, just doing vlogs and doing live streams all the time. Live streams in particular really helped out with podcasts. Like now I come across as super comfortable in front of the camera on a podcast because I used to live stream a lot, and I know like what to say, what not to say. Like, you gotta like filter yourself. I still let I think I let an F-bomb go on this once, but I try not to. Try to keep it family friendly, but at the end of the day, this isn't something that's going to be monetized. So it's like, it's all fine with that stuff. But yeah, being in front of the camera is so hard at first, and it takes a lot of time just doing it. And like clients, I tell them all the time, if you've never been in front of the camera, I want you to go practice your lines in front of the mirror, like figure out what you want to say and practice it before we get there. And I can tell who has practiced and who hasn't. When they haven't practiced, they just freeze. They're like, I don't know, what can I move? Move. Yeah. And so like, and actually those clients, when they freeze on camera like that, what we do, we stop recording, we go, and I ask them if they're drinkers. I'm like, let's go do a shot real quick.
Do one.
And so we go do a shot, like relax, have a good time, and then we jump back into it, and it helps them out a lot, just like relaxing.
And another thing that I think is pretty crazy because I sucked showing up on camera too. I literally for like 3 weeks, I just recorded myself everywhere I went.
Oh yeah.
In public, at home, just getting different shots to talk in front of the camera. But doing a YouTube channel is what really helped me. Yeah. Because it's long form content. You can't fake it. You either know what you're doing or you don't. Yeah. Right. But I had to get comfortable being in front of the camera.
Do you have a decent following on YouTube?
No, I just started it. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, I just started it. But I think maybe I got like 3 subscribers. They're better than none.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I was sitting there and like the more I started doing it every Friday. So I would go every Friday, record a couple YouTube videos, and I just got super comfortable just looking down the lens. Yeah, ain't nobody there, and I'm just doing my thing. So I got really comfortable with it. But it was like the practice and comfortability part. Yeah, and I just said, we want to get better on camera. You have to practice. Yeah, you want to get better at cooking? Practice on your cook. But people don't want to do the work, and then like I said, they're scared, they're feared. But right now, like we're being recorded. And bro, we are both in our element.
Yeah. I'm not even looking at the
both in our element.
Because what you're talking about is so interesting to me, like marketing and stuff. I love talking about it because I still feel like I know nothing about it, even though like I worked in marketing. I run a business that like is sort of marketing, but sort of not, because like I said, a lot of my clients are just big corporate clients, and they have their own marketing department. They tell me what they want, and I just do that. I'm not strategizing, but I've been trying to like, I recently did, because of that Crown Point Chamber of Commerce event, I met the owner of Liberty Siding and Windows that day. Okay. And I had seen him because he runs ads all the time. And so I knew who he was immediately. I was like, I've seen that guy on Facebook. I want to go talk to him because I noticed his ads were just kind of lackluster, not super enthusiastic and stuff. And they were all filmed on his phone. And I was just like, hey man, like, I think I could like make some better content for you if you want. Like, no pressure. Like, I'm not trying to like, because I know small businesses don't have like big budgets and stuff. So I'm not trying to like overly pressure them. But I was like, I think I can help you out, like make a couple good ads to run. And I didn't hear from him for a couple months, and then he hit me up. I didn't expect him to actually hit me up. Yeah. And he did. And so we ended up doing 3 different ads. We did a longer version for his website for Liberty Siding and Windows, then a 30-second version that he could run ads on Facebook and stuff. Yeah. And then he also had another business, Strictly Gutters. And so we did an ad with that. He was amazing on camera because he's been on camera before. Yeah. His wife was super nervous because she was doing the Strictly Gutters one. So we had to like kind of help her sort of relax beforehand. Like when we were starting the take, I'm like, I can see that she's nervous. And I'm like, hang on, let's stop. Stop recording. I need breaks. Relax. Yeah. You're just talking to me. Pretend like, and so I actually went behind the camera and had her almost like looking at me. Yeah. That's what I do for some people is like, I'll like hide my eyes from the camera, but it still feels like they're talking to a person. Right. And that's like kind of the secret. Like you want to be talking to someone. You want to imagine that lens is your best friend. Absolutely. And that's who you're talking to.
That's the money. Yeah. When I was doing my YouTube things, I just would imagine I'm talking to my wife.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She knows every part, version, every nook and cranny of my entire being. She knows me better than anybody. I can be comfortable. Yeah. So like, yeah, man, like you have to act like you're talking to people. And it's a weird trick you got to play with your mind because obviously the camera's not a person or whatever. Yeah. But you're exactly right. And I think the fact that you do that for people, it helps.
You know what I do? I actually picture like a crowd of people like in front of me. In my mind, like when I'm looking into the lens, I see a crowd of people behind that lens and I'm trying to project out so that they can all hear me.
Yeah. I think the other side of that is also, again, going back to being your authentic self, where you try to be something you're not, and trying to be like really polished and buttoned up. If it's anything that's not you, it's hard. Yeah. It doesn't come off the tongue that's fresh and that's clean. You know,
you can't really fake it in marketing, I feel like. I mean, some corporate does.
Yeah. But you have something. It's some exception to the
corporate almost just uses dirty tricks. Like I'm not saying like the corporate stuff I do. I mean like commercials on TV, like they almost use dirty tricks to get you to like them. Like they'll appeal to like certain emotions and stuff. And it's like sometimes it just like makes me like, ugh.
But you see it in a different
That's
way.
because I see it. I'm like, well, my mom always she'll watch those cop shows and you know, like Chicago PD or whatever, and this from the first like 3 minutes of the episode, I'll tell her how it's gonna end, and she's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "Because they did foreshadowing. Like I know, like this is just the way it works with like video and stuff."
You're like my wife, and I can't ever watch. I'll say, "Hey, we should watch this movie," and then like the first time I watched that movie, I never knew the ending. Like I couldn't predict it or whatever, and then she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that dude's gonna die." I'm like, "Come on, bro! Like, how did you figure that out?" I watched it 3 times. You know, she's like, "Well, they're foreshadowed. You could just tell." I'm like, "Man, you need to just watch the movie, bro. Like, don't be trying to ruin it for everybody. You just think you're so smart." But man.
So I wanted to ask you this: when you make a post, where do you post it? Is it like which platforms are you using, and like how do you go about making that post?
So first thing, I'm gonna split it up. So I post on my actual personal Facebook page. And I'll take that post and I'll tag my business in it so it shows up on my business feed on Facebook. I'll like mention it or something like that, but I don't do a lot of posts there because it's really there in case, because it also has SEO value. So sometimes you'll find my business Facebook page and can scroll and see the examples of my work. But my bread and butter is my personal Facebook page and Phenomenal Photo Booth, which is my Instagram page. And so when I go about making my posts, I know when I said like you have to generate your own buzz, I will post something that I know is going to get attention. So it's actually the value of the video. So going back to the one video I told you had 8,000 views of my time-lapse video, that did 8,000 views on Instagram. I took that over to Facebook and I posted it because I know the value of the video is really good and people are going to like it. So when I post it, somebody likes it, and now I start the conversation chain. Hey, thanks for that like. That's one comment. They're going to respond. Hey, man, no problem. Keep it going. That's 2 comments. Next comment. Thank you. That's 3 comments.
When you post, do you do a separate post on Facebook, or do you hit the button to like send your reel from Instagram to Facebook?
No. So a lot of times I post on Facebook. I don't do the post on Instagram and then share the reel to Facebook. I don't do that all the time. Really, I'm posting them on the platforms themselves.
Okay.
And so, you know,
is there a reason, or is it just?
It's not really a reason. It's sometimes that's just the way my brain works. I'll go on here and I'll post it on Facebook. I'll go here and post it on Instagram. Now, if I'm doing something, because I think you can do that for stories too, like share the stories. I'll do that for the stories, but sometimes I might want to do a different caption. Or like if I'm posting on my actual Facebook page, you know, I want to put something in the comments to explain the video to get people to watch it. So I'll put like in the actual like comments of my video, or like the caption of the video at the top for Facebook, like if I'm saying I got laid off from my job and blah 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 blah, like, because that's the hook. If they scroll and they read that, then they're gonna actually watch the video.
So do you do different edits for different posts?
No,
different. Like a different edit for Instagram versus Facebook, or
not really. Okay. It's just if I'm posting on my personal Facebook page, I want to make sure people are going to watch it, and so sometimes it's called a hook. When I'm making my caption to explain what the video is about, that first little box right there, it needs to have some value in it that make people want to watch.
Okay.
You can't really do that on Instagram because like even if you make a caption, it's kind of hidden at the bottom. Right. So, but like. That's kind of the reason I do it like that. Because if I'm posting on Facebook, I want to make sure I'm putting it up there the way people will watch it. Right. And so now if they're stopping and they're watching it, you see the views go up. Now I'm engaging. You see the engagement go up. You see the likes go up. So now I know how to force something to hit. I know how to make it go viral, but not viral, but like get the views. And I'll give you a prime example when I talk about becoming the content and being the content. When I go to these networking events, for example, is one at the Valpo Chamber called AM Valpo, and you get this microphone and everybody have a 30-second pitch, right? Dude, that thing's a sleep fest. First of all.
Yeah, I guarantee
people, I don't know, they just
Hey, I'm so and so. This is what I do. Thanks.
everything is the same, right? Like they'll be like, my name is Bob with Bob Does the Right Insurance, and I do residential and commercial insurance. And if you have any residential commercial insurance need, call me Bob at Bob Does the Right Insurance. Now, I just made that up. Like I'm not dissing.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know.
Right. But like, I'm like, nobody's gonna remember that. So I'll go in there and I'll always try to, because comedy can be related to, being memorable. So I'll go in there and crack a joke. I showed a video on my actual Facebook page. And I started off by saying, like, I got $5,000 off a follow-up because I'm sharing a win. It's still relatable. I got $5,000 off a follow-up. I explained how I kept calling this company since January and just following up with him. And he, I told him, like, bro, my follow-up like food stamps. You can expect me the 1st and 15th every month. Everybody started laughing. Right? Because you don't hear that at those kinds of things, right? But then I went into like I did like a shift. I said, I started doing the research. 44% of people don't follow up a second time. So when's the best call to make? It's the next call. The game-changing call is the next call, right? Put that on Facebook. That video got 2,000 views.
Oh, so you took a video of yourself at the account.
I went there and said, hey, record me.
Did you just had somebody else?
I just literally had somebody. So like I got my little mic.
Yeah.
And I went to my little networking event, mic'd up, and I recorded it.
Nice.
And here's the thing, when I tell people about like, you don't need the best gear or don't have to look at, like, just put it out there, because if the content and the value is good, people are going to watch.
Yeah.
I told her, record me. Man, the first shot she got is showing a room. If that's an Instagram reel or something like that's not valuable. People are going to scroll. But the content in the video is so good that people still watch, even though the first shot is just wild room of people and it's not even focusing on me.
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna post the video because I'm like, man, that's not what I wanted. I did it anyway.
So you went up and told a story rather than going up and saying, hey, hire me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now this is where I talk about the strategy and the tactics. The reason I post that video is because a lot of people don't take photo booth seriously. They want to say, they want to tell me what they're going to pay me to show up. Yeah. So I'm going to...
For me, I always thought of photo booths as an add-on from the photographer.
Right.
I never thought of... You're like the first person I met that runs just a photo booth company.
Yep.
I did not expect that. When you told me that, I thought you were going to say, oh, I'm a photographer.
Nope.
And now I've been just like doing this. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's not common.
Yeah.
But I need to take the power back. So I made a power move. I told them about a close that I made for $5,000. So if anybody in that room want to book me, you better not call me talking about some $100, $300.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I swear to God, you gonna get my Jamaican cousin. I'm be like, you know what I mean? He don't work here. Yeah. He works here no more. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get Selah. So that put me in a different bracket where people are like, oh, okay, man, he's doing big things. We bet not. So yeah, we better take him seriously, right? And if we call him, we need to be talking somewhere around that $5,000 ballpark. So I'll put that out there to let people know that my services ain't cheap without saying my services ain't cheap. But then I also put it out there as a form of content because I didn't have an event going on that day. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna put this out here and it hits a lot more people than just photo booth clients. If you're a client, you want to pay me somewhere around $5,000.
Yeah.
Right. If you're not a client, but you're in sales and you're an entrepreneur, which is more that's the most feedback that I got from that video. They're like, man, you're right, man. I need to follow up. I need to follow up with people.
Yeah.
And people was DMing me, hey man, thanks for putting it out there. I followed up with somebody. I got to close too. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally this gig that I have this weekend, they hit me up in like January.
Yeah.
And didn't say anything, didn't respond to my email back about the event until like maybe the beginning of April or like end of March. I followed up. I sent another email and I was like, hey, just checking in. Did you still need me or no? Or what's going on? And then they were like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. I totally forgot that I even reached out to you.
And bam, and here's the cool part about that, bro. All sales are the same. I did marketing sales. Now I'm selling photo booths. There's a couple different nuances, but if you look at the entire sales process, it's prospect, right? You got to prospect them, which means that people don't know what prospecting means. They're going out and finding leads. Some people aren't good leads. Some people are good leads. So finding that ideal customer, so you prospect, right? And then you got to approach them. So you got to get the meeting, right? After the meeting is usually the close. So you got to close them. And sometimes if you don't get the close, guess what? You follow up. But the last step of the sales process that people forget about is the delivery.
Yeah.
Deliver the goods repeat.
Yeah.
Right. And so like the video that I put out there, it ignited like people like, hey man, you're right, man. I gotta get it together. And this is why I tell people too, is like the actual video, if you turn the sound off and there's no captions, it's not a good video. Right. But even if it don't look good, if the value's there, people will watch. And the way I actually learned this was a weird way. I went to this, it's a barbecue spot in South Bend on the west side. And that building looked toe up from the floor up, make you want to throw up. Busted, disgusted, can't be trusted. I'm like, bro, who would eat there? Right? My window was down. I'm hungry as hell. And it smelled hella good, bro. I pulled up in a drive-through, like, or in the driveway. I'm like, man, I'm about to see what it is, right? Because it smelled good. Man, that barbecue was some of the best barbecue I've ever tasted in my life. And I was like, bro, that's so crazy that it looks raggedy as hell. It got a line full of people. So to relate it to the content, if the food's good, people are going to eat.
Yeah.
If your content is good, if the value is good, people are going to keep buying. They're going to keep watching. And so, and again, it's not just, this not just with social media content, bro. This is life, right? Like if you want something from somebody and you don't give value, people are not going to give you their time.
Yeah.
People are not going to give you an opportunity. So when I was reaching out, when I was laid off from my job, trying to start my photo booth business, people, they didn't partner with me or they didn't give me opportunities because they look like, what are you bringing me to the table? You have no value, bro, because you're just starting out. So I don't want to work with you. So I didn't get opportunities until I started winning, because now people have a perceived value that, man, that dude is going, like when I got booked by Notre Dame, that's what changed everything for me. I put a video saying, hey, I got booked by Notre Dame, always chase your dreams and don't quit. And I showcased that video. And everything after that, everybody taking it seriously. Why? It's like, because this big organization thought what I did was valuable, but it's also how I presented the videos, pre-planned content. I had a drone guy come to get drone footage, all that stuff. And so again, you have to provide value. Whether you're doing, no matter what product or service you're selling, if there's no value attached to it, or you don't know how to communicate the value, because that's another part, right? If you can't communicate value, then you don't get money.
Yeah. For sure. That was probably another reason why my business was so slow to grow, was just like not being able to communicate the value of what I did. And like, that's really why I'm getting more into marketing, because I saw other videographers succeeding by showing how they're like, they took their clients that they had and they showed how they gave them growth in not just on social media, but just in their business in general. Now they're making more sales and stuff, all because of them working with them. And so like, that's something that I, even to this day, like am really bad at, like showcasing like how I'm helping businesses like sort of succeed, even though like the businesses I tend to work with are like already successful big businesses, but there's a reason they're hiring me, because that content that they want is like, if they're the top player in their industry, like the law firm I work with, they're like the leading, biggest law firm in Chicago, and they want the best content. So that's why they hire me.
So let me ask you a quick question, bro. When you're doing these, when they want to hire you, do you jump on like any kind of video calls to ask questions?
Yeah, all the time.
You should record those, dog. So like, are you on that call? Say, hey, and if they work with you, they should be comfortable. Hey, I'm using this for content. Are you guys okay with me recording a call? I won't show your face. It's just really me answering questions, right? So you would set up that call. Yeah, we're cool. We recorded. We love you, right? And then that's you in your natural element. And then you going through these calls, bro. You clip that up, that's content, and then have a camera recording you on these calls, because now you're positioning yourself as the expert, and it's clearly a client on the phone with you that's saying, I need you to help me with this problem. You take that content, you put it on social media, and here's the thing, somebody else might be dealing with that problem too. Right? And so now you're positioning yourself as the expert. When people say communicate value, there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can physically say it, or you can show it. The video, get these different. So like a lot of people, they do coaching calls. They don't record any of them. Help you. If you got 5 meetings a day, that's 5 different people with 5 different problems where you can have content recording you helping people with their problems. So you should never run out of content. Right.
And here's one other side of it. So for me personally, and I'm sure there's a lot of businesses like this, but in my business, it's so hard to post content that's like meaningful and people are gonna get value out of it, because when I get to the end of the day, what did I do all day? Filmed and edited. At the end of the day, what do I not want to do? Film and edit for my own business. I don't want to do that. I'm like done. I'm like, dude, I don't want to keep editing and keep filming. I'm already like, because at that point I feel like I'm not getting paid for it anymore. So I have like less of a drive. But at the end of the day, I mean, I do get paid for it by landing clients. So, but for me, so this is the reason I asked you like where you post, what's sort of like your strategy for posting, because maybe a year or two ago, I came into like figuring out how I wanted to restructure my social medias. It was after I had already restructured my website to make it work. And that's where like I get a lot of leads just from my website from having good SEO on Google. And I don't even have that good of SEO. I show up like number 100 in Chicago. Like, I don't even know how, like if you search for a videographer, I just looked recently. I think I'm like number 106 or something in Chicago. So I'm not really sure how they find me. Like, I think a lot of it is to do with just word of mouth. But like this client I'm doing this weekend, I should have asked her, because I usually do ask people how they found me. And it's usually like a really obscure way. Like they'll have a friend of a friend who saw a post on some social media and like a lot of my strategy on social media, on Facebook in particular, is just joining community groups and joining just any kind of group that has like a large number of people, where people will post, hey, I need a videographer for my wedding. And then I can comment, Lakeshore video. I get a lot of work that way. But as far as like my strategy of actually making posts with intention, a year or two ago, I decided I wanted to increase my SEO. I started looking into it more. And you really want to drive people back to your, whatever your sales funnel is, that point of sale. You got to drive them back to that point of sale. And for me, it's my website. And for most businesses, I would say like you want to drive them to your website, because that's where you're really making the sale. Now, my buddy Max, he makes his sales on Instagram from people directly DMing him. And he says, and he responds, I rarely get DMs on Instagram because I don't really run my Instagram properly. But it's what it comes down to for me is the timing aspect of it, because I don't have time to do this. And the reason I don't have time is because when I make a post, I want that post to be seamless across all social medias. So I will gather my behind the scenes photos. So I got that's one post. And I will write out a whole paragraph or two about what the shoot is and like why it's helped the client and what gear I used. And the reason I say the gear is because that uses a lot of keywords where other videographers see it, and then they start recommending me for that type of work, because there's specialties all over the place. Like every videographer is different. Like nobody offers the same exact thing. You're always going to get different results with different videographers. But so I like to include stuff that's like the problem that the business had, the solution, and then also how I did that. So how I created that particular video for them, what gear I use, everything. And then what I'll do, so I have that paragraph, I post it on Instagram, share that over to Facebook, then I go post it on what's the other ones I use? Oh, so that's the initial post, and then I'll make a reel, and the reel is a minute long of the same exact thing that I did with those photos. So it's showing the photos, and essentially I'm reading that paragraph in front of the camera and showing the photos in a video format instead of just in a carousel. And then so now I got two different posts about the one thing, and then sometimes I'll do a third post where it's the result. But I think nobody really cares about that post. So what I am gonna start doing, I don't know if I have done this yet or not. I probably have. I'm gonna start including just at the end of my reel, I just show this is what it looked like. This is the result. And then I say, if you want to see the full results, you go over to the client's page and that's where it's posted. But sometimes clients like they're so bad with posting it on social media. They don't even know how to post it. Sometimes I have to walk them through how to post it proper. Or like I'll send them a 16:9 and then they post it vertically cropped. And I'm like, you should have told me I would have recropped it. Like, so now what I've made it a habit of just delivering both a 16:9 and a 9:16 or whatever. Like that. So this and that. So I deliver both of them too. But so basically I get like 2 different posts just because of the format. Some people like to just look at photos. Some people like to watch the video. And then I will make, a lot of times like to prepare for making that shorter reel, because that reel can only be a minute long, to prepare for it, because I don't know exactly how I want to word things. So what I do is I'll record a 10-minute video on YouTube for like specifically just for my YouTube page. And I'll record that 10-minute video of me just sitting in front of the camera and be like, all right, guys, let's go check out this shoot I did. Like, here's what I did. Like, here's the different photos. And I go like way in depth about everything of why I did certain things. And then that gives me an idea of like how I'm going to condense that down into 1 minute. And so I'll post it on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'll do both the long form and the short reel on YouTube. And then I will go to my website and I will make a blog. And in the blog on my website, I'll put that paragraph that I wrote on Instagram. I'll put my reel, and then I'll also embed that long form video. And then I also put all those photos. So everything is all on my blog. All the photos, the short video, the long video, the paragraph. And then I will take that blog and I share that over to LinkedIn, X. And then, what's the other platforms? Then I'll also usually share it on Facebook. And then those like 3, now I have like 3 posts on Facebook and I'll share all of those to my personal Facebook page. And so like all of that takes like 4 hours.
So
it literally takes me 4 hours to make a post.
I was gonna say, so like one, like as you're talking to me, and 2, like for the audience, like to unpack this, if that's okay, like to break it down. So really what he's talking about is a content strategy. Right. And so and people, they have to understand the content strategy is one aspect of it. But when you started mentioning like Google and like SEO, that's a completely different side, right? And so that is a long ass process, to say the least. So what I've been learning, so again, Omar El Takari, you can find him on YouTube. It's called the Video Department with Omar El Takari. So he shows small business how to show up online, and he does all these things. So I took his Cash to Content challenge, and what he talks about is the reason why content is hard, as one of it is because it's hard in your head and you don't actually have a proven content strategy. And it's really hard. Like what you said, dude, that is a book, a Harry Potter book of like da. So who the hell wants to do that every day, right? So what he proposes is like, more or less is more. So he's saying you have a YouTube channel, right? And it's educational content, like you're being the expert because he believes in long form content. And he talks about like they spent 64 years on his brand. So if you add up the total of like time, view time, duration or something like that, it added up to 64 years on his brand, all from long form content. So you make a YouTube video, right? And once you make that YouTube video, you get clips from that. That is, so like a video podcast like this is perfect. We unpacked a lot of stuff. We done went into marketing, life principles.
2.5 hours.
Bro, like all kinds of stuff. It's so many clips from this conversation that you now have for Instagram because we're already doing the work. Right. So when you have those clips, it comes from the YouTube video, right? Now you have these clips on social media, and then your caption of the that you're putting on social media, that becomes your email that you want to put for emails. And then because you can have like something like it's called mini chat. So if you ever seen somebody say, if you or DM comment the word let's say marketing, and I'm going to send you a PDF or I'm going to send you this.
Yeah.
So when you do that, you comment marketing, they send you
Then they did a big
PDF.
email list so that they can blast out big email.
And it comes the email. Right.
Yeah.
So now you have that email and you can.
That's one thing that I've never done is sent out like an email ad. But at this point, like, because I have my website set up to where people fill out a form on my website, I do have a big email list that I've never even used. I probably should think about it, but
I swear to you, like, and this is like, bro to bro.
Yeah.
Email people.
Yeah.
Email them. And it's not always, it's not always selling. It's value.
Yeah.
And this is the cheapest form of branding that you're going to get when it comes to pay. Like if you did like if you pay for MailChimp, right? And you need something to email people, they at least still see your name. It shoots right to the top of the inbox. There's no algorithm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes right. So they still see your name. And even if they read it and they don't even take action, bro, like you're in their head, you know, because and it's the same thing when I was cold calling people during COVID and I had to learn how to cold call, right? Even though I'm not converting on each call, I'm still saying this is Selah Brooks.
Yeah.
It's my name. You know, so with emails, these are like it's really cheap, right? But it's a great return on investment because you spend, let's say, $20 a month on MailChimp, right? You got an email list of 500 people. You sent them an email, so you close somebody because I've done it. I've closed somebody through email. Hey, this is my new pricing for this year. These are all my current customers through my CRM. Sent them email. January 1st, this is my new pricing. I got a booking. Hey, matter of fact, we need you.
Yeah.
Because you're top of mind. It goes straight to the top of their inbox. So when people sit up here and say like email marketing doesn't work, email marketing is dead. No, it's because
email marketing, I still believe is really
it works. It literally works. And the thing is too, when you're doing it, again, how are you packaging the information? Is it are you giving something of value? Because for me, my emails go out to my clients.
Yeah.
I don't have to sell them really hard. They already know who I am, but now I can at least give you valuable information. Like, for example, I just dropped a new feature for the photo booth, my AI photo booth feature. So it takes people and turns them into AI characters. That's valuable information. Hey, I have a new photo booth experience called the AI experience. This is what it does, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's really cool.
I bet you if I just sent out an email blast, hey, I have this podcast studio, I probably would get
you would get a lot more podcasts.
Yeah, that's probably shit.
You have not because you asked not.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
The reason that I haven't done that is because I stayed kind of busy. And so like, here's always been my strategy. When I get too busy, that's when I raise my pricing. Because it's like, obviously I'm in demand enough that people are willing to pay more. So it's like, raise my pricing. So I'll lose some clients at that point, but I gain new ones. And like, I don't know, it's so weird because it's such a delicate balance between pricing and like how much you're being booked. And like, sometimes like when I would raise my pricing, it would just kill all my business and I'd have to like bring it back down a little bit. And so I've kind of mastered the art of like slowly increasing, but increasing for new clients, but not increasing for current clients at least until the end of the year. So I'll give clients like a 6-month warning, like, hey, I know like we've been working together for a couple of years at this price, like, but I have to start increasing prices because I'm getting so busy now, like I can't keep up. And so like, this is just going to be the new pricing. Like I'm already charging the new clients this. Yours won't go up until next year, but like I'm just giving you a forewarning, like it's going to go up.
That's interesting. The reason I said it was interesting because when I was thinking about whether I should raise my prices, I just raised them.
Yeah.
And I did lose clients, but I knew I was going to get, I mean, I hate to be me, but like better ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the other aspect to that is like certain people think just because you raise your prices, people are going to pay them.
Yeah.
Nah, dog, because you still haven't communicated the value.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, you can either say it or you can show it. So when I raised my prices, I actually did what's called a brand photo shoot. So I want people to perceive my photo booth company as a premium, higher end,
That's where I come in.
Yeah. So
you hire a photographer, videographer. Yeah.
so I did this brand photo shoot. I took my time to figure out like how I want my brand to look. So when you go through my Instagram page, it's like it all matches a certain aesthetic. But once I put that out there and like I upped the visual part of the brand of the business. And when people are saying like when I say, hey, I just got off this call actually yesterday. Yeah, it was 3 hours, that's $1,000. Man, you are the most expensive photo booth company. Well, hey, bro, that's why schools don't book me. I do high-end weddings and I do high-end corporate events. But if you want me to come, it's $1,000, right? They looked at my Instagram. He went to my website. He looked me up. He was like, hey, man, you seem legit.
Yeah.
We'll give you the
nice.
But because they did their research.
Do you so for me, I don't know if this is like this for you, but for me, some clients, I just know they don't have a budget like right off the bat because I know like this type of client is never gonna like they're not a corporate business, they're not gonna have the type of budget. Do you let them down softly like because like sometimes I already know like that they're looking for a cheap videographer.
Yeah.
And like that's why like I've been more blunt about my pricing. Like certain types of work, like weddings and podcasts, I have my pricing on my website because if I was getting too many people that like had no idea what the pricing would be for this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I tell them and they like that person, they get mad at me. Like I'm sorry, like you didn't know what it was going to cost, but this is like, they're like, yeah, but I know somebody who they'll film it for $100.
Say that. I asked them, okay, so like, you know a guy, let me hear you correctly. You know a guy that'll do it cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try and go hire him.
Why ain't you call him, bro?
That's what I tell him.
Why ain't you doing business with him? If it was that, if you love the price, you love that person, why ain't you doing business with him? Oh, yeah. You're right.
I try to be like helpful to them, even like if, like, I'll be real with them. I'll just be like, so let's say a business, or maybe not even a business. I had a client recently who, well, not a client, but an inquiry recently. Because I made a post. I'll say this too. Whenever I make a post, I know my strategy is super long. It sounds crazy, like 4 hours for one post, but I'll get 25 inquiries from that one post.
As long as it works.
And like several of them will pan out too. So it's like one inquiry or one post takes 4 hours, but I'm going to land gigs that like a lot of money. Just from that one post. So, but I had somebody recently because I was posting this podcast stuff.
Yeah.
How much is it to come film at your studio? You know, $300 an hour here if you want to come to the Wanata studio. And you know, it's my home studio. I live here. So you're coming to my house. I've let you guys know up front, but I'm giving you a discount because I don't have to leave my house. And he's like, oh man, I only have $50 or it was like $100 or something. Like all I want is like the lighting and the location. I'll even bring my own cameras and film it myself. I don't have a microphone. And I was like, oh, well, just take that $100 and buy a microphone. Like, why are you giving it to me? Like, I just kind of, I tried to let him down easy. I'm like, dude, I can't do it for like that cheap. It's not worth my time. But so I will go out of my way to give them a whole strategy and like tell them like, here's what you do. I'll give them a link. Here's the mic you should buy, connects right to your phone. And now just like your mic you got right now, like I think I've recommended that mic, or sometimes I'll recommend cheaper mics if they got a lower budget. And but as long as they got something they can plug into their phone, I'm like, now use your phone and record your content yourself. Like it's gonna be a lot more useful for you rather than just throwing away $100 one time on me. That like you could because I'm like you are not at the point like where you need to be paying somebody else. Once you're like more established and you got the money to pay for the high end video, that's when you come to me.
So to answer your question, I wouldn't like for photo booths. I can't really do that because like if you want to book me and I call and you can't afford me, I just let you know like, hey, I'm sorry. Like I'm on your price range because like now I do have people that I would refer them to, but like they're looking for
that. That's what I mean. Like to refer to. So that's the other aspect of it is like sometimes I will just be like, hey man, like I'm out of that price range, but this person, I think they can help you out.
So I'll refer them. But what I learned just over the years, just doing business, whether it's marketing, sales, or photo boothing, you got to have a certain business savvy. You have to assess and look at and weigh the odds of opportunity, because all opportunities, some of them can be horrible opportunities, some of them, but opportunity is opportunity. I get some people who can't afford to work with me, and then, but if I see the opportunity is valuable enough for me, I'll make partnerships. For example, when I needed to get started, not only was I putting my story out there, but I knew that I need to be around people who had money. So I would donate my photo booth to galas for these nonprofit organizations.
Nice.
Because if you're a nonprofit, you need donors, sponsors, and volunteers. Any one of these, you can do it. They're not going to tell you no.
That's really smart.
So I was like, hey man, I got a free, like, you guys don't have to do anything. I got a free photo booth for you. The only thing I ask for is for you to get me in the room with these people so I could get bookings. And so I would pitch it to them. I'm like, I could do data collection. So instead of putting a phone number, they can put in an email. You can use that for email marketing.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
But the love,
smart.
Yeah, but that's the market.
I don't know a single photo booth person who has suggested that. That's awesome.
But it's the marketing.
Yeah, that's smart.
So
hey, I can collect emails for you. That's awesome.
I can collect and the beautiful part about data collection for photo booths is it's emails, but it's pre-opted in.
Yeah. Oh,
they agree to use it.
Yeah.
They want to take a picture. They click OK. They take pictures.
Nice.
And I give that email list to my clients. And because if they can, now data collection ain't cheap. I did it for cheap when I first started.
Yeah.
But with the companies that want me to come and do data collection, all right, hey man, like we starting out maybe $3,000, right? Because I know that if you book anything from this, if I give you an email list of 300 people and you book anything from that, or you make a sale, it's going to pay for everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And if you know how to nurture your leads, right, and you have a really great email marketing strategy, it shouldn't be no problem to make that investment, because I put it back on the ball's in your court. Hey, bro, what's your closing rate?
That is smart.
You know what I mean? Like, how good is your email marketing?
Wow.
Yeah, we do a really great job. So $3,000 should be no problem, because you can invest with me. You can get that. You can get these leads, and I give it to you. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
so
awesome.
Like, I look at how to work different angles, and you got to have a certain business savvy. I would tell them, hey, I'm sorry, you might not be able to afford me, but can you partner with me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Listen, I do my donations based on ticket sales. So if it's a $50 per ticket, I can't donate a photo booth to you, because that audience is not going to be the people that's going to pay upward of $1,000 for a photo booth. That's not my customer.
Yeah.
If you're doing 175, 200, one gala I went to, I think a ticket was like $500 per person. Oh yeah, I'm donating. But then I started to figure out I can also donate in exchange for sponsorship. If I give you a $5,000 photo booth package, right? We can trade. You're not paying me the $5,000 up front, but why don't you give me a $5,000 sponsorship package? So my logos are on the screens, my logos are on the tables. They're branding me. I ask for Google reviews, so it's an exchange.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm in a room, and now I can get great content, because this is what I talk about also being strategic, and it's called pre-planning. So I know I'm going to be in a spot. I need to get all the content possible to make me look good.
Yeah.
So when I went to Notre Dame, hey, bro, Nick with NWI Media Marketing, that's my dog. He does a lot of my video work, especially for these bigger projects. Hey, can you bring this drone by Notre Dame? Absolutely. So he comes in, he gets this drone shot. We give Notre Dame the drone footage, and he came and did photography. We gave them a photography too. So now they get the photography, the pictures from the photo booth. You get a nice drone shot, and you also get all the photography and pictures that Nick did, and we gave it all to him. Why did I do that? Because I just made a huge deposit.
Yeah.
You look at relationships like a bank account, right? You make a deposit or a withdrawal. When they call me, they know, man, Selah damn near did a whole production of this event that we had. We gonna bring them back. And she gave me a Google review. I've gotten referrals. So like, if I see an opportunity that comes across my table, whatever, on my phone, all right, how can I maximize this? I don't have to turn this person down because they can't afford me. Money's gonna come.
Yeah.
Again, chase a great name other than great riches.
Yeah, that's so smart. Like I, again, am bad at networking and bad at seeing these types of opportunities because, for instance, like Charbria and Lewis can't always afford me for certain types of events. They have these networking events sometimes. And like I did one because I was just trying to help out Charbria and Lewis. I really wasn't, because they're a good client of mine. I wasn't looking at it from the perspective of networking, because they were like, we'll put you in as a sponsor of the event, and we'll like they just wanted me to do it for free. So they're like, in exchange, like, we'll put you as a sponsor of the event. You're in all the marketing, advertising, the flyers, and also we'll let you get up there and speak. Because like it was a networking event for like businesses to all go up and speak, like you were talking about. And honestly, I didn't think anything was going to come from it. I was like, this is, I was like, I don't care about the networking. I was like, I don't even care if you put me in the flyer or whatever. I'm just coming to help you guys out so that you'll hire me again.
Yeah.
But when I got up there and gave my speech or whatever, and I didn't give a good story or anything. I just explained what my business is and what it does.
Yeah.
And there happened to be a guy in the audience who owns a marketing company in Crown Point. And what is his name again? Oh, he's gonna get mad at me because I forgot his name.
You're gonna edit it in.
Yeah. But so he as a result, like this was probably a couple years ago. That's how I landed that gig shooting for the Crown Point Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
It's because he's like the treasurer for the Crown Point Chamber of Commerce. And so he reached out to me, and this is like 2 years later, and he's like, hey, I remember you from that networking event. Do you want to come film this tree lighting ceremony? And that's how I met you.
Yeah, right, bang, dude.
Yeah. So
and that's the beautiful thing, bro. Like just the opportunity. Like you said, you didn't do a great story, but you showed up.
Yeah.
Opportunity creation.
Yeah.
Now
I was this close to not doing it. And honestly, I've turned Charbria and Lewis down for other events like that because I was too busy.
Right.
Like during certain times of the year, I'm not going to promise a free shoot on a weekend because wedding season, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I'm probably going to end up getting booked. Even if I'm not booked right now, like I'll probably get booked.
Yeah. And then sometimes, like I said, you do have to turn some things down. All of them not great fits.
Yeah.
Once you figure out what's a great fit for you to say yes, now even though you're not getting paid up front, your job is to make sure when you go there, you literally extract everything.
Yeah.
You squeeze the orange.
Sounds like you're a master of squeezing the orange because you're saying things that I'm not even thinking of. You're like, oh yeah, I hit up my photographer, videographer friend to come do this shoot that I was on. And like, now you guys are working together and
you plan the content. So, but it's all going to a tactic. I'm like, all right, now that I got this lined up, what else could I get?
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam. And I put it together. Same thing with my brand photo shoot. I dropped that video after my vlog series. So now that I got 2 photo booths and I already got all the momentum and all the attention, I dropped this banger video where I did a brand shoot and I did, Nick came through. He did a bunch of cool shots and everything. He sent me the clips. I edited it. Again, I had a Steve Harvey motivational soundbite. I had a trending audio. I put that video together and that was like my victory video. Like you see me build up, trying to get to the second photo booth. I got the second photo booth and now it's like, bam, now I just dropped another banger video and they like, oh my gosh, bro, that looks so good. So now when people looking at me, that's how I want you to view my company now.
Yeah.
So when you look at marketing, a lot of time we talk about digital, right? Like social media, all this stuff. Marketing is marketing. No matter if it's digital, print, whatever, it's all about the perception.
Yeah.
If you don't understand how to control perception by the moves that you make, then you shouldn't be surprised with the results that you get. So when I'm talking about pre-planning content, then there's no way I'm gonna show up at Notre Dame and not make the most fire video to encapsulate, or what is it?
Encapsulate.
Yeah, encapsulate everything that's going on there.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, people was taking my business as a joke. That's why I wasn't getting the bookings.
Yeah.
Or the bookings at the price that I wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, you in a photo booth business? How cute. The hell you mean how cute, bro? What you talking to, a chihuahua or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean how cute? Now the people saying how cute, they're like, oh snap, we gotta take this dude seriously now.
Yeah.
Because like you said, everybody was doing photo booths as like a side gig. It wasn't really an actual company.
Yeah.
Yeah, dog, I'm running this as a company, and the fact that I'm learning how to work different angles and different opportunities within the photo booth. So like the donation strategy that I told you about, they see what I do as value because I communicate the value. You get branded stuff, branded pictures, logos on the pictures, logo on the screen. If somebody you can't afford me, Cool, let's go. I will help you find the money. Who will want to sponsor a photo booth? And I'll get the call in too, because I don't care where the money comes from.
Oh, cool.
So you
help them sponsor where
find the money.
That's cool.
Hey, because I'll cold call somebody. I'll dial up.
Man, you are literally a marketing genius, and you don't even like you're not in marketing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that you could run a marketing company, dude.
It's literally.
You want to start a company?
I'm thinking about it. I'm literally thinking about it. I learned this from growing up in the hood, dog.
Yeah.
You take bad situations and make them better.
Yeah.
You know, like, how could you, you live in this apartment, whatever. How can we make this thing the best situation possible? So I just find ways to make things better.
You're finding really creative ways to like add value to what you're doing.
Because do you have a photo booth?
Yeah.
I'll call, hey man, I'm doing this gala and you want extra advertising opportunities, and I'll pitch that person. This is a $2,000 package. I can do data collection, I can brand the pictures or whatever. And when they put that, I'll unlock my instant social media sharing feature, and people can instantly upload those pictures to social media. It's branding and it's marketing for you, and you ain't even got to be there.
Nice.
Bam. And they gonna and it's showcasing your brand. And like the corporate companies, they eat it up every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, you make your next move your best move as it's like a chess move.
Yeah.
It don't matter whether it's social media, digital content strategy, or your actual marketing strategy. Move with intent.
Yeah.
Move with purpose. You know, because if you just throwing stuff out there, you just swinging. You ain't hitting no damn body. You know what I mean? Like, you need to know, all right, if I'm engaging this, jab, uppercut, you know, duck.
Yeah.
Jab, uppercut, duck, left hook. Like, put together your punches and make them land. And you do this by literally showing up and being strategic. Because when I needed the money, every event that I did, I want to make sure I get so much content that when I leave, because I don't know when my next event's going to come, I need to flip these videos, repurpose the content, make this stuff look different, all this other stuff. So I became a master at how could I pre-plan and maximize the content, because I don't know when my next event's coming. But guess what? This turned into a cool ass content strategy because, like when I do these big events, I make a damn near a whole production out of it. I set up a tripod, I film that, I get my behind the scenes content, I showcase myself, I showcase the booth, I do time-lapse video. Same thing, I'm a solo without my crew. I'm doing all this stuff. And I would even get like on-site testimonials from people that love the photo.
That's another thing I'm bad at, is getting testimonials. But
I'll get them.
That also comes back to me having few clients that just like pay a lot, you know?
People in the departments, like, how many people do you work? If it's, let's say you work with 4 people in the same company, all 4 of y'all need to give me a video testimonial. All 4 of y'all need to give me a Google review. Like, you have to become, they say, thirsty or like hungry or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Bro, you got to be a maniac. You have to act like you need that food. Like, if it's, because if you don't do it, somebody else will. Like, I remember getting those calls, hey, we booked somebody else.
Yeah.
Damn, I really needed that money.
It's so funny because I record testimonials for clients and I don't do it for my own. I saw a videographer recently that after they recorded their testimonials for the client, you know, it was a client testimonial. Real quick, they pulled out their phone and got a testimonial from.
You better play them.
I'm like, dude, I run into this thing where I think all of my content has to be professional.
Nope.
Because
it don't matter.
But I think about it, because I'm selling professional content. That's that's what I sell, is like the professional look.
Right.
And so I just get into my head, like, if mine doesn't look that good, they're gonna not take me seriously. But
I trust videos that look more authentic than polished.
I know.
Because we're trying to establish value, but we're also trying to establish trust. When I'm at an event, I get my little mic. After they get done using the photo booth, and it's stuff I haven't even dropped yet. But when I was first starting off, they got done using the photo booth. Hey, did you love the booth? You love the experience? Great. Hey, listen, I really need this. I'm trying to grow my business. Do you mind just giving me a video testimonial? Just tell me how fun the photo booth was, and I'll have them talking to this mic. Hey, the Phenomenal Photo Booth company was great. I had a great time at.
Do you use your phone?
I literally use my phone. And I'm mic'd up. I will book them. I highly recommend them. That was my content. And I'm pretty sure if I start doing more content like that right now with the amount of buzz and attention that I run my business, man, that's just adding on to the thing. I might be able to get a booking from one of those. The $5,000 video that I dropped talking about the follow strategy, I got a $2,000 booking from that video.
Nice.
It's strategic content that you're putting out there, but a lot of people, they don't have an end goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm trying to be the biggest, best dude running the photo booth stuff. Now it's while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm honestly at the point now where it's like I haven't even hit 6 figures in my business, but I can choose the clients I work with.
Yeah.
That's really cool because I'm attracted. I'm not chasing.
So you don't have any other employees?
I got 5 of them.
Oh, you do have employees. Okay. I was confused with when you were saying like.
Well, I got events I work myself. Right. I got events I work. If I can't have a crew come with me because we're all busy or whatever, I'm back in the trenches. But I have so much experience in running the photo booth by myself. I can run the photo booth. I can get content. I can get testimonials. I can get behind the scenes. I can get a time lapse.
So do you send, you said you got 5 employees. So do you do like 5, will you do 5 different gigs that like on one day, 5 different photo booths?
So no, I have 3 booths, which is funny. I just got my second one, or my third one, because it's a 360 photo booth and a venue gave it to me for free.
Oh, cool.
Yep, that I do a lot of events.
360 photo booth.
It's basically a circular pipe goes around and they stand on it, it goes around, and they gave it to me for free. So I got 3 now.
That's awesome. Do you use for that particular one? Does that use a phone?
You can use a phone, or you can actually use a DSLR camera.
Okay. So I think I saw one recently where it was a Sharbria's her play. They had one there, and I think they were just having the people go up and put their own phone into it.
Oh, hell no, man, that's ghetto. Dude, there are some ghetto ass 360 booths. Dog, I went to one event one time, and I'm photo boothing over here. So they booked 2 companies. I didn't offer 360 booths at the time. So they got another 360 company over there, and I just got my salsa booth, right? And I look over there, I'm peeping. Man, they taking the actual arm of the 360 and they spinning that thing. That's ghetto as hell, bro. We can't be doing that.
I wasn't trying to like say like is this what yours is like? But
but I'm saying like that's not good.
So I was thinking of it from the side of, personally, I was like, oh, that's neat, because now I already have the video on my phone because I use my own phone. But from your perspective, you're now not collecting the data anymore.
Well, they might be collecting data still. Well, but my thing is,
what I mean is, if you're not using, if they're using their own phone to film, then you're not getting any data.
Or you mean like the actual like clips, or you mean the data like the phone numbers?
The phone numbers.
Well, they can, from their software, I believe they still should be able to, even if they use their phone, they can go to the actual photo booth thing and text it to themselves, and they can still get a picture or get a file.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I didn't understand that.
I just thought that they were using their own like camera app, and they were just hitting record.
I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the photo booth company, they were using their phone, or was the people on the photo booth?
The people who like walked up, the guests, who walked up, were using their own phones.
Dog.
So that way the photo booth wasn't collecting any data. So it's like.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Well, that's what I thought was. I actually didn't look into it, like what was happening. Maybe they weren't, but I'm pretty sure I did see a phone on there. So I didn't know if it was the guest's phone or if it was their phone. I don't even know who was running it. But those 360 things. I was just curious how all that worked.
I mean, it's the same thing, because you can do data collection with a 360. Yeah. All the softwares that
what kind of cameras? What kind of camera does yours? Or what kind of cameras do all your photo booths use?
So my salsas, they're iPad based. So they use the camera on the iPad.
What kind of iPad is it? Do you use the Pro or?
I have the 12.9 inch. I think it's the 15, whatever, the iPad 15, whatever the top model is. Because I'm not really like, I'm embarrassed to say, but I'm not really like the best at Apple products. I only use stuff. But I got whatever the newest iPad was at the time. That's the one that I got. It's 12.9 inch. Okay. It uses a front camera. And when the thing is with those ones, you want it to be 4 to 5, anywhere between 4 to 6 feet. I like 4 to 5 feet away from the backdrop, because as any camera, the further you get from the subject, it's not a great quality picture. But if you go and use an actual DSLR camera, or a DSLR photo booth, you can use Canons, you can use Sony, and those take more higher quality pictures. So you can do that as well. Yeah.
So I'm just curious about the cameras, because I had at one point thought about doing it as an add-on, like I told you, a lot of photographers do it as an add-on.
I highly recommend it too.
But when I was looking into the iPad thing, you just using the iPad, my iPad is kind of old, and I tried the app on there and it looked terrible. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing the iPad. I got to get a new iPad.
Yeah.
Because my iPad's from like, I don't know. It was like the 7th gen, whatever that is, 7th gen iPad, like the cheapest one that they had. And the front camera is atrocious. It's so bad.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's not great. You most definitely have to invest in like the newest one. Because it will affect the picture quality. But that's what I tell people too. Like when I mentioned that you have companies that diss iPad-based photo booths or whatever, bro, as long as you know how to work it, you can still get really good quality pictures from it. So
I think
distance, the lighting.
Personally, as like a videographer and stuff, I looked into the side of using like I was like, I got extra cameras. I can
right.
And when I looked into it, I was like, this is a complicated setup. It's not worth it. Like, just get a good iPad and do that. Like that seemed like a way better option to me too. Even as someone who it wasn't even going to be an investment. I already have the cameras, but I still was like, I'd rather use the iPad because it's just so simple. People know they can start tapping and then
easy.
with you, also, when you're hiring someone else to set it up, because that's something else I thought about. Like if I'm working an event here and over there, they want the photo booth. I need to be able to train someone to set that up.
Right.
And that gets complicated if you're using a DSLR and stuff.
Right. Well, that's where I'm at now. Like, we're not the DSLR part, but the training. And eventually, I do want to get a DSLR booth. But I think that's what's great about.
Is it worth it?
I think so.
Does it like stepping up? Like, is it that much better?
Is that much better?
It is.
Yeah, like from my personal opinion, and this is a person that I own.
Because I haven't seen them side by side. I don't know.
Yeah, so like because you're using an actual DSLR camera, so meaning like you have a bigger lens, you can really manipulate the ISO, the exposure, aperture, because it's a professional camera.
Yeah.
So you get really good pictures if you learn how to work it right. And some clients really want that very clear, crisp quality.
They do want it out of
and so like
I wasn't sure about the demand on that.
Well, the booth itself, the investment, at least the one I'm looking at, is called the Guac and Chips. That's like $8,000, but it comes. So the photo booth itself, the white, I have a sauce, so like the white outer, that's just the case. It's called the shell.
Yeah.
And then you actually have the iPad that goes in and takes your pictures. And so if you wanted to get a guac, it still comes with the shell, but it has a hole in it where the camera sits like this and it kind of sticks out the hole.
Yeah.
And everything on the back end like plugs up. I think it's worth it because I'm trying to take my business to a whole nother level where like, yes, we have quality and all this other stuff. And then the salsas would be like the low end.
And does that still connect? You still need the iPad with that?
Yeah.
For the
touchscreen and all the other stuff. So it's still iPad. So
it just plugs into that somehow.
Right. But you're not using the camera from the iPad because the iPad is literally a touchscreen. When you with the salsa, it's the camera and the touchscreen.
Yeah.
When you got the guac, it's just a touchscreen to put your put your number in there and choose.
See, that's the other tricky part about a photo booth is I was gonna build it myself and not purchase the thing, the shell, because I have lights, I have it, but then I was like, man, it's just not gonna look good.
Right.
You need that clean look of the shell,
because it's the aesthetics. When I show up to a wedding, I don't have the janky ranking.
Yeah, I don't want it to look like a studio,
right?
Like, I don't want it to look like you're going into a film studio and there's stuff everywhere. Like for my clients, they love it when I do the podcast. Right. Every single time the client will walk in and they're like, oh, you got a TV studio here, but you don't want that at an event.
Right. So that shell is really important, man, because it gives a clean aesthetic.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most part, again, it's like, it's how you work it, bro. It's who's doing it. So
do you interact with the people coming up working it? Do you interact with them a lot?
Absolutely. That's how I get my business.
I know that's what I noticed. Why that's kind of what I took a notice to you at that event. Yeah, it was because you were interacting with the people, and I was like, huh. Yeah. Usually, someone sets up a photo booth and walks away.
They walk away because they don't do it as a business.
Yeah,
it's just side money. This is my main money. So when I didn't, because I still don't do paid ads, right? So when I also talk about maximizing and squeezing the oranges, also it's not just the content side of things, but it's the experience. I sell at the event. I give the experience. So when people are sitting there, bro, I'm sitting there, I'm chopping it up with the people. They don't even know if I'm the photo booth guy because it's how I do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so when it's time to take pictures, they already feel comfortable with me.
Nice.
And I'm bringing them over there and I'm talking to them and everything like that. I'm giving them a great experience. And if anybody expresses to me that they like the photo booth or they have an event, I either I stop giving people business cards because you need to take the power back. The ball need to be on your court to reach out. So I have a digital business card, so they scan it.
Yeah, I have
put
that
the
too.
information on. So I use Blink, it's free.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, hey man, give me your phone. I'll tell them my pricing up front. And then I'll be like, hey, if it's 3 hours, it's 700, 4 hours is 900, all this stuff, right? So I will literally get their phone number and be like, look, man, I'll reach out to you and we'll talk about it and we'll see if we make perfect. Bam. And then because you get their information and then they can send you their stuff back. And then in that software, it should be a section under some kind of tab. It should be like contacts where you can see all the people that scanned.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you can export that into a spreadsheet.
I think this is QR Chimp.
Okay.
I think that's what
They all do the same thing. Yeah, don't matter. I just use Blink because I seen it on YouTube.
Yeah. I just use this because somebody else told me that's what they use.
So, and then my goal for events, I want, if it's, because now sometimes I think I'm just too hard on myself, but if I'm doing an event with 250 people, my goal is to leave with 5 leads. So,
Really?
So I'm getting 5 phone numbers when I leave that thing.
Man, you know what's crazy?
What's up, bro?
I do so many events. You know how many phone numbers I go home with? 0. I have not taken the full advantage of like what I should be. Like you're kind of opening my eyes to like, I mean, I think that I'm always networking. I'm always like,
you got to do with intent.
I tell everybody like what I do when I'm at places, but most of them will not follow up with me. And I go back and forth with this digital card because like some people are tech savvy. They're happy to scan it. But some people, they don't even know how to scan it. And once they scan it, I've had this happen. They scan it, it pulls up like my little page that has all my info, and then they put their phone in their pocket. And I'm like, no, wait, hit add contact, like, and add me as a contact because they don't realize like there's another step, like I can put you into the contacts. And like sometimes people are drunk and like, because I ran into this, I was filming in Kentucky recently for a corporate event, and okay, this sounds like I'm bragging right now, but I'm not. I was in the green room. Tony Hinchcliffe was the headliner. So we're in the green room with Tony Hinchcliffe and other people. I'm not really trying to brag. That's just where I was because there's a tornado. And so we all had to go downstairs. Yeah. And anyways, so the people who hired me, like I did his wedding and his buddy, I could tell he's blasted, like out of his mind. And so he was like, yeah, you should hire him for video. And I'm like, yeah, hire me for video. And I tried to show him and this is a young guy, like your age probably. I tried to show him the QR code. He was so drunk he couldn't scan it. And I was like, dude, I think I'm going to go back to physical business cards for those situations where it's like, I can tell they don't want to deal with their phone right now and just hand them a card.
So when I do business cards, it's an exchange. I'm not giving you one if you don't give me one. Especially like it depends on the setup.
Corporate,
a networking event, corporate. Hey, you got a card? I'm taking a card because I'm leaving with a bunch of leads in my pocket. Yeah. If I see that you drunk or whatever, I'm not even. Yeah. Especially because when I'm sitting back and I'm photo boothing, I'm observing. Everybody's drinking. Yeah. Right. So if I catch you early enough, I'll have you scan it and walk through the steps. Yeah. But if I see it, you've been doing a little drinking. Everybody remember their phone number. What's your phone number, bro?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you put it in.
I'll put.
And do you text them or?
I'll text them on the spot. Nice. They give me their number, bam, 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 and I'll shoot them a text. Hey, Selah Phenominal Photo Booth.
And then do you follow up the next?
Follow up because they might not remember it, but I'll be like, yeah, man, I sent you that text. Oh, nice. So it starts to come back to them.
That's something I should start doing is collecting their number.
You get their stuff, and then it's on you to reach out because a lot of times what I had happen is, and I call them like lost opportunities, right? Like, oh man, I gave him my card. I didn't get his information. I want to call him and follow up with that guy, and you never hear back from him again. So I try to make sure if I'm in a spot, nothing's getting past me, dog. Yeah, I'm getting if you tell me, oh, that's cool. This photo booth's really cool. You got an event? You got something you got going on? Because those people that they already have the experience, right? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I actually do. I got a wedding coming up. What do you charge? I give them my prices straight out, but they can compare it to something because they already seen the experience. When you give it your prices to people over the phone, you know why a lot of people don't book that? It's because they don't know the value. They haven't experienced the value. To them, it's just a number. Damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, again, there's two ways to communicate experience or to communicate value. You can either tell them or you can show them. These people, I'm showing them the value already. They already like my booth. And I told them, like, dude, if my setup was trash and my experience wasn't that great, you wouldn't have mentioned to me you had an event coming up. You know I'm worth the money.
Yeah.
Right. And the best time to follow up with them is after, while they're still high on the experience. And I tell them, dog, I literally see 50 pictures of you in this gallery, smiling, cheesing it up. Book me. You know what I mean? You had a great time. And guess what? The reason I'm telling you to do this is because I don't want you to be selfish. What do you mean? You book me for your event. You probably won't even use the photo booth, bro. It's for your guests. It's guest entertainment. If you want your friends and family to have a great time and create memories, that's why you
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you see I did a great job.
You had a great time, right?
Right.
I want your friends and family to all
come on, bro. You're
Yeah.
doing this for them. It's not for you. Yeah, it's coming out of your pocket, but guess what? When you host, you don't always get to receive the benefits of what the hell you hosting.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to leave knowing that you put that on for them. So if you're a corporate company, these people are going to leave with a memorable impact with your brand because everything's branded.
Yeah.
The pictures are branded. The screen's branded. I'm even working with a wrap company right now that's going to wrap the whole damn photo booth with the company's brand on it.
Nice.
So if that's what you want, hire me. If that's not what you want, I'm not your guy. But you asked me. You came to me. You asked me about my photo booth and what I charge.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Yeah. I again missed an opportunity when I was in that green room with Tony Hinchcliffe. I missed one opportunity with the guy who was too drunk to, and I might still follow up with Henry about, hey, your friend, I know he's a little drunk to get my info. Yeah. But like, I should follow up with him for that wedding. But the other thing I should have, and I thought about this afterwards, I'm an idiot, because like there's a tornado and we're all like huddled together. So I'm like not thinking straight. Tony Hinchcliffe is? Okay, so he has Kill Tony. It's like the biggest live podcast on the planet. So
oh shit, okay.
It's a comedy show. So he brings up all these people onto his comedy show. Basically audience members that he picks out of a hat. They could bomb or it could be really good. But it's the most viewed live podcast. That's what they call it. So something that's filmed live in front of a studio audience, essentially. Okay. On the planet. And so so he's a massive comedian. Yeah. His producers were there. I should have networked with his producers to try it, because I've actually, for the last 6 months, when I discovered Tony's thing, they've been doing it for 10 years. I didn't even know. But I've been obsessed with it for 6 months, just watching. I don't really watch anymore, but for a while there, I was watching it nonstop. And I was like, man, his videographers are terrible. I should be live streaming his events, because his I alone as one person could do a better job than his crew that he's got working for him. They're blowing out shots and stuff. It's shaky. It looks like shit. And then I get this opportunity to I'm right there with his producers, and I didn't take the opportunity to network with them. But also I was a little bit mad because they didn't let me film his set. And so I was a little bit mad about that. That's why I didn't want to talk to them. Yeah. But I should have just swallowed my pride and went up and talked.
You got a shot anyway, because even if they turn you down, you are now on my list of people I'm about to prove wrong. Because you're gonna have to see me in 2-3 years. And when my live streams is popping and these people are looking clear as glass, I'm gonna call you out hey, dog, you ain't wanna show your boy some love when I first started out. But this is why I truly believe in in giving people chances and treating people because I remember, I told you, the guy who told me that he had more established people to network with. People they get on this perch and on this level where they look down on people and all this other stuff, and they feel like they made it. You never know who people are going to become. You never know who they're going to turn into. Yeah. So I respect hustle, because I remember what that was like being Tiny Dog. And when I see somebody who they might not have everything together yet, but they hungry and they hustling, something good gonna come from it. What I told you about donating these services to these guys, sometimes they give me tickets. I get a table. So remember I told you our relationships are like bank accounts. And you can either make a deposit or a withdrawal. I make deposits. I bring my people with me. Hey, bro, you doing your thing. I got this fancy gala full of rich people. You want to come to?
Yeah.
And I bring them.
Like Nick bringing them.
I bring them anywhere, bro.
That's one videographer that in Northwest Indiana that I've never met is Nick. He's the only one, like literally he's the only one I've never met. I swear to God.
But I think it's because like, you know, he does have a lot going on, but he's like super like networky or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you meet him, humble, down to earth, genuine dude.
Nice.
And like, so I try to surround myself.
He's like one of the
like that.
Probably the biggest sort of drone guy that I've seen around.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah. Timeless Aerial.
Okay. Well, I can't think of anyone.
I still don't know if Timeless Aerial is for hire or if he does it for fun.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, man, I find ways to bring people with me, and I'm not asking for anything. The reason I'm doing that is because nobody did it for me. I was a kid in my car. Nobody threw me a bone.
Yeah.
I got everything brick by brick.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard. So and even when I started photo booth stuff, like I would send messages, hey man, I'm looking for partnerships, whatever. Nothing. All right, cool. If you don't want to work with me, okay. Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I'm going to build it. But while I'm building it, I'm going to give other people opportunities. And I'm like, bro, the only thing I ask is that you do it for somebody else. You see somebody who grinding like you, like you are right now, and you trying to build your business, you're trying to build whatever, give that person a shot, give them an opportunity to come in, network, give them an opportunity to work with you.
You know, I get a lot of younger guys reaching out to me, just asking me how I got into the business kind of. And I'll usually sit on a Zoom call with them for like hours telling them everything that I know.
That's so dope.
And now that I think about it, I should turn that into a podcast.
I swear to God. Like, oh my God.
It happens like once a month, like some random person who wants to get into this business just like wants to talk to me. And I don't even take the opportunity to record it like you're saying.
That's great content.
I'm like, man,
great content.
I should just start having them come onto the podcast, but actually come here. But even just doing it over Zoom, like I should be recording this.
Anything you can.
Now you got me like opening my mind up to like content's everywhere.
And it's how you see it. Like the way I started thinking like this, like I said, bro, I grew up in the hood, got to be resourceful, all this other stuff. But like the people who don't do the stuff that I'm telling you to do, they're complacent.
Yeah.
They're comfortable. You know what I mean? They might not even have goals, whatever. But that's why when I was in marketing sales, I took people's food easy. You don't want to call people, I'll call them.
Yeah.
You know, I need the food. If it's a plate of food in the middle of a table, what y'all gonna eat? It's who's willing to do more.
Yeah.
And I'm not
willing to follow up.
I'll do all the dirty work, dog. Because like I'm chasing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so even if you see me play basketball, they hate me. I'm trying to get 10,000 steals. I play everything I do. I don't know how to let off the gas, bro. Like I want to win, but I'm wired like that.
That's another. You made me just think of another missed opportunity. About 5 or 6 years ago, I was working a wedding, and the groom's mom came up to me, and she asked if I did corporate video, and she owned Nordstrom, and she said she's like, I could have you film here, and I gave her my business card, but I didn't get her info, and she never contacted me.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, man, if I had gotten her number, I could be filming for Nordstrom. That's a big company.
The reason why people don't do that, sometimes people, they don't want to be too salesy. Guess what? I'm salesy.
Yeah.
But it's how you do it, bro. That's why everybody's like, oh, I don't like salespeople or whatever. Man, it's a thin line between pushing and persistence.
Yeah.
You got to walk that shit.
Sometimes I'm like, this is bad. I shouldn't do this. But sometimes when people serve me ads that are bad ads, I'll respond to the ad and say, hey, you should hire me to make you a better ad.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I feel bad sometimes because like recently there was one, I don't remember what they were selling, but it was out in Plymouth, and they ran the ad. I was watching a video that I was enjoying, and this ad pops up, and they're like, you should hire you should replace your windows. And it was like filmed on their phone and just really echoey and just really poorly done. And I just messaged them, you should replace your videographer as like a response, because it interrupted my show that I'm watching or whatever. And so I just immediately did this knee-jerk response of like, when they said you should replace your windows, I said you should replace your videographer. And I felt like a dick for doing that. And I kind of wish I hadn't. But
did you at least put emojis?
When I can't remember how I did. I probably did. But I think it came, like, I was kind of trying to be funny, and I don't think it came off as funny, because they were like, oh, we did the video ourselves. And I was like, I could tell. I was like, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I do that?
That's not a missed opportunity. That's a blown opportunity. You blew that.
Yeah, but it was because of the timing, and I felt offended by that commercial they put in front of me, because it was so bad. It was offensive, and it pissed me off. And so, like, don't do that, guys. Like, if you're, I know it's hard to make your own content, but like, ask somebody for help if your content's so bad that you're making your clients angry, and don't do what I did, where you retaliate with anger too. But
you want, if I can plug this in really quick, when you talked about, because you mentioned a couple of different people like making ads with their phones and stuff like that, right? It does have to look good. These people are kind of throwing away money. From my experiences talking to all these business owners all the time, people, they rely on paid ads for sales and marketing. Like, your ads is your sales, you know, to get people, and it is the actual marketing part.
That's like most businesses do that. All they do.
From what I've learned and what I observed is, if you're doing that, it's like having a bucket with a big hole at the bottom, and you're trying to pour water into a wonder why the buckets ain't filling up. Because in order for ads to actually convert, a lot has to go right. You got to have, first of all, like, engaging stuff. It has to look good. You got to be targeting the right thing. You got to have landing pages and all kind of stuff like that. So even if you do have a banger video, you're still missing out on conversions. So like to your point, like, if even if the content or the video is not that great, like, have a good strategy. Because sometimes that might actually overpower not having the best quality video. Because, like, oh, go ahead.
I don't fault people for having poor quality stuff, but when it's so bad that it's offensive, that it's like, oh, I can't stand to look at this. Like, that's when I it's kind of draw the line.
Right.
But like, I do think it's fine for small businesses to use their phones and stuff. But that one I really shouldn't have. I really should have said that. I should have said that, but I was just like, mad. It was also a smaller company that I didn't think would ever hire me anyways. But but yeah, with the funnel sort of thing, like, I look at it like, running the ad is the last thing you should be doing. You need to have your entire online digital footprint set up before you run any ads. And a lot of people, they just start running ads right off that,
because they don't understand. So I'm gonna give y'all game right here, right? So when they say, like, your website, right, that's the hub of all the information. That's the ultimate landing page, right? And so when you have a really great website that converts people, and it's, when people put together websites, first of all, you can either own a website or you can rent a website. So when you renting it, it's like Wix or Weebly or whatever. Not knocking it, it's okay, because a lot of small mom and pop shops, that's what they use.
I use Wix.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's easy to use, front end builder, really cheap, right? If you cancel, because these are monthly subscription services or like yearly or whatever, but if you cancel, that whole website goes away. So you lost that content, you lost SEO value, all this stuff. If you build a website, you can use, like, let's say WordPress, really popular one. If you build that website, you can take it anywhere you want. You can host it anywhere you want. But when you build a website, you actually need to understand how to structure it. So home, services, all that stuff. But stop having stock content, stock images. So that's where a brand shoot actually comes into play. And right now, like, I'm actually redoing my website. You know, trying to get it better. But do a brand photo shoot. Get actual images of you, no matter what you do, like, make sure they're great images, because pictures tell 1,000 words, right? And then, because like I said, you can either communicate it, like say it, or show it. On a website, you can do both.
Yeah.
And then actually write out good content, really good copy. So for example, for my new website that I'm making right now, I'm working with a content person, but I'm telling them what I want them to know. We are a premium photo booth service. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're looking for a cheap service, we might not be the best fit.
Yeah.
I am saying on the homepage right out the gate, right? So have great copy, and then like all the keywords that's on there, don't keyword stuff, make it actual keywords.
Yeah.
Right. But then when you are running ads, when you have a really great website and you want to run ads to that, it's literally you want a clean path. You want to run the ad, right? The ad should speak to whatever you're running ads to. So I see a lot of people right now, they're just throwing Google ads out there. Let's say if I'm a roofing company and my ad was about roof installs. I clicked the ad for roof installs, but that ad took me to a homepage. You're losing money because that homepage says nothing about roof installs. It needs to take you to a page that's saying roof installs. There's another method that you can do, which is actually creating a landing page. And that landing page is like a little mini micro website. It has a video on there, and you can put like content and all this other stuff and just get the lead. So it's just the name, phone number, email, whatever, right? Some people use that strategy opposed to using the actual website, because on the website, they'll start clicking around, they'll go to different places or whatever.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
You need to have a clear path.
Yeah.
Right. And it needs to be very like on point. So Google got what they call like a quality score. And so if you go on that landing page and your landing page, the content is not great, not good keywords, and doesn't match with the ad, all this other stuff, you get a low quality score because the user experience of that page is trash.
Yeah.
If you want to get cheaper Google ads, you have a better quality score. And if it's a better quality score, they will literally, they'll make your ads cheaper, which means you're running a more efficient Google ads program. So you have marketing companies out there saying, you want better results, spend more money. Hey, bro, this is my Google ads budget. If you can't do anything with 10,000, you ain't doing nothing with 20,000.
Yeah.
So once you understand like how all this stuff works, you even mentioned it one time, like a funnel, but it's like your path.
Yeah.
It has to make sense.
Yeah. Like the funnel sort of thing. Like I like to put it like you get discovered either on social media or through a Google search. I think it's equally, I would say maybe easier on social media to show up if you just have one viral video. So it's easier to show up to an audience on social media. Yeah. Whereas Google, you have to like have really good SEO to show up. Otherwise, you're just not going to show up.
And that's changing now with all the AI.
Yeah.
I did a photo booth search, and I just said photo booth rentals, LaPorte, Indiana. And then in the little chat thing where it kind of gives you like a quick little synopsis or description or whatever, like right there in the front, it said Phenominal Photo Booth Company is a premium service that we highly recommend. It says it's highly recommended based on customer service, great response time. People really enjoy. So it gave a short little summary about my company, and then as I scrolled up, then there was the ads, and then there was the maps, and then there was the actual SEO. Like all the organic stuff. AI is changing.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of ruining the blog aspect.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think it's good to do the blogs because the AI reads the blogs.
Yeah, so it still pulls all that. But like that's what I was saying.
So you're not going to show up as hot. Like now some people, it used to be a good strategy where you just for instance, you write a recipe and it's like people visit your website to read that recipe, but now they're just reading the AI overview of the recipe and not actually going to your website.
Right. So it is kind of like that conflicting thing, but here's where I would still do what I do, because it still pulls the information that you're writing.
Yeah.
So sometimes in those the AI reads, it can mention your name.
Yeah, that's cool. I see. I didn't even know that it would mention your name.
Yeah. So this is something I can.
And how did you get on there?
I just Googled it, and
no, but I mean, how did you rank on there? Do you have a strategy, or
no?
Just happened because you have a good website, or
nah? Because I think it's pulling that information about when they say customers say that it's good customer service is Google reviews.
Okay, so that's all from reviews.
Okay. So I think I have like maybe it's either 85 or 88 Google reviews.
Man, see, that's another thing. Like I said, since I have a hard time getting testimonials because I don't have that many clients, because my clients just tend to be big clients.
Yeah.
I don't have that many reviews either.
Can I offer you a solution?
What's that?
And I'm just, man, dude, you're gonna get so much gain through this conversation. Automation, bro. So you're a solo guy. I wear a bunch of different hats in my business. Automation is my holy grail. It's my lifesaver. It's my safety net. What I do for my process is when I book somebody, or let's say, I'll just walk you through it. If somebody goes to my website right now, right, and they fill in a form, I'm doing a podcast right now. I can't get back with you. I set it up in my automation for my CRM. Hey, thank you for filling out this form. I did receive your lead. I'm working an event or something like that. I'll get back with you as soon as possible. And I set it up to where it happens 3 minutes after they submit the lead. So to them, they thinking it's me. Then it's great response time. All right, he's going to get back with me, right? Then I get back with that person, right? And if I send them a contract, and they sign it, they will get another email saying, hey, thank you for signing this contract. I'm really glad you decided to do business with me, blah, 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 right? Then I have another automation where 30 to 45 days before their event, I'm sending them an email saying, hey, I want to make sure that I have your correct event date, and a location, all that stuff. Could you please confirm with me what your date is? If anything changes based on location, could you? And so that way, because I used to call, hey, 30 days before, hey, I just want to make sure, is this the right time? Is this right? Because people, they fly through contracts and they put in the wrong date. And they put in the wrong time. I do that confirmation, right? So that's an automatic email that they think is constant communication for me, but it's not. I set it up one time. Once they close, right, I finish their event, I have an automation where I move it over to finished. It sends them an email asking for a Google review.
Nice.
I'm not doing all this work. It's front end time, like we talked about, instead of back end time.
Yeah, I have a hard time automating things like that because, I mean, I could automate something like just a response, like, hey, thanks for your. Actually, I think it does send them something like, thanks for the email or something.
Yeah,
but
you can automate.
But the side of like contracts, I can't really automate, like, there's no just like contract that's like a one size fits all for my business.
I still do my contracts.
Oh, okay.
But once they sign it, I send them an email saying thank you for signing. Let you know that I did receive your contract.
Yeah. Like, so I just use Google Drive to sign contracts.
Okay.
You can, like, I don't know when they added this feature, but I started doing it this year. I used to use Dropbox Sign, but now within Google Drive, you can just click add signers and to any document you have in Google Drive, and it'll send them the email and stuff. And then like everyone gets a copy when it's done. But like I just find and maybe I could set up something that's before the event, but at the same time, like those clients always follow up. Any event, they're always going to follow up with me. Like they just emailed me today for the one this weekend. And then like weddings too. But what I was saying is, like, I have such few clients. Like when I do get new clients, I will reach out to them to leave a Google review. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Right.
But like 90% of my work is the same clients over and over. So it's like hard to
build up
to like, to get, it's like, I'm jealous of the people who have a huge number of clients because they get more reviews, whereas I only have a handful of clients that do all of my repeat work and stuff.
Right.
But I do have some like musicians and stuff I should be reaching out to.
Anything, bro. Like when I was starting my business, what's crazy is because even though the client, like I'll do an event for a client, I'll get a review from them. But if it's somebody that I've seen at an event and like, because after a while you start to network with all these people, especially like corporate events, so you'll see people from the chamber there that use my photo booth or whatever. I'll ask them, can they give me a review?
Yeah,
you ain't got to be my client.
You're right. I should.
You use my photo booth. You said you loved it. Can you give me a review?
I could definitely do that, especially with the law firm, because I work with all the different lawyers like in the law firm. It's not just like one. It's one client, but it's like several clients within the.
Bro, you got.
I should be doing it.
You got to think like a hungry person. Like, who has my food?
Yeah,
I'm going, and that's the thing. Like when I told you that I was kind of like excommunicating people didn't want to do business. Dog, you put me in any spot, I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
Take me from LaPorte, Indiana, drop me off someplace else. Check with me in 3 years. I'm still gonna be eating because I operate like a person who don't want to miss me. I don't miss the opportunities.
How many hours do you work a day? Too many?
I'm trying to give you an actual answer. I want to say like I usually stop working maybe around like 5.
Are you good about that? About stopping working?
No,
I'm not
because
either.
what you don't do, somebody else will.
Yeah.
When if they,
I like I said that 2022, I had to force myself to scale back after that because I actually like injured my back from working too much. And even to this day I still have back problems. But I had to like and that's when in 2023 I doubled my prices because I was like, what am I doing? Killing myself for this like pennies, you know?
Yeah.
And so in 2023, I just like doubled my prices so I could scale back work and like actually be able to like at the end of the day, like go take my dog for a walk and like have maybe even talk to some friends.
I mean, there's a good work-life balance.
It's tough for like when you're an entrepreneur, you just like want to work, and it's really, I find it tough to stop working.
Well, from when you love what you do, it's easier to keep going.
That
Like, I mean, bro, I love like photo boothing. I love marketing. I love video editing. Like all these things are passions. And so I literally could go into a room and not come out for 3 days. You know what I mean? Just doing this stuff. It don't feel like work.
Have you ever considered editing like for clients?
Nah. I mean, I forgot his name, but he does photography. And it was crazy. He has a huge following too. He was just on an episode of Amplified Events. I think it's the episode. But he was kicking game to me about content creation for people and like doing video editing. I just don't think that's my speed, bro. Like I love doing my own. I don't want to do somebody else's. But even with content creation, he was like, bro, but you could just record it and just give them the raw footage.
Funny thing is, I'm the opposite. I love filming other people's stuff, but I don't want to do my own.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody got their different lane.
But I don't like editing. I don't like editing reels and stuff. Like even for clients, I hate editing. I really just love shooting.
Yeah, I love editing because it's the perfection part, and like because I can take certain videos, I can be creative as I want. Like when I talk about like getting these sound bites, so I listen to like different motivational speeches or whatever, and they really be dropping game, dog. You know, so I will literally. You can go on YouTube. You can find a motivational speech that you like, or like like it has to be the actual raw footage, like of them talking the original video. And then you highlight that, and then you put it into an MP3 file. So now I have Steve Harvey talking over my video, and then I'm going to go get a trending audio, and I put them together. And I don't know that
taking notes, by the way.
Okay, bro, get the game while you're on there, big dog. Like, so I do that, bro. And so like I love trying to figure out like how can I make certain clips come together and like create my own piece of content. Like I find pride in that. It's sometimes where I'll even go get an instrumental from a song, and then like I'll sit there and I'll mess around with it and I'll clip it up. I get crazy with it, bro. I just love the art of it. And it's kind of it's just therapeutic.
For me it just comes down to that thing again where I'm like editing for other clients, and then I just don't want to do it for myself because it's
editing for clients is
you get
hard.
burnt out.
Well, you know? I feel like when I edit for clients, or if I try to edit for clients, it's what they want. Like clients don't always do a great job of communicating their vision. So I'm like, now I'm doing re-edits and re-edits and re-edits.
You're telling me.
When I'm doing it, I know what the hell I want. Oh, I like that, man. Let me mix it up like this, whatever. I love it because I'm creating stuff that I like.
When I first meet the client, I ask so many questions to figure out what is the purpose of the video. Do they even know what the purpose of the video is? Because sometimes they don't know.
They have no idea. They just want to do a video.
They just know that videos are popular and that's what we should be doing. And we don't know why we want to do it. But we've been talking for like 3.5 hours, so we should probably wrap it up. Chewy's getting very antsy over here. He wants to go outside. So but dude, this has been awesome. Like, I feel like I learned a lot about marketing. I feel like I could talk to you for another 3.5 hours and still not get all the information.
I told you that this bag's so deep, I'm never gonna run out of game.
Like you are using some really cool marketing strategies that I never would have even thought of, and like I don't know anybody else using them. And like I think again, it's definitely like your background, like you said, and just being hungry, and but you got like a creative thought process for marketing that's not really something you can teach people. That's like you either got it or you don't. Yeah. So it's been like super eye-opening talking to you about all this stuff, and I definitely want to talk more about it later, you know, in the future. Keep in touch with that stuff. But before we end it, what is your big reveal that if anybody's still here, what do you got going on?
All right, so lately for the last couple months, when I go to an event, people have been asking me about like content. They compliment me. Your content is great. How do you do it? All these different things. And so, and then people were asking me, can I teach them how to do it? And then now I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Because when I left the marketing world, people, they wanted me to actually do their marketing. And I didn't want to work for people anymore. I felt like I got burned by 2 companies.
Yeah.
And so that season, I walked away because I didn't want to help somebody build their dream instead of my own. Now I feel like the universe and everything's aligning where this season of my life, people are more receptive to me actually teaching them how to do it. So I'm going to be hosting, it's going to be a personal branding and content creation strategy workshop.
Nice.
So, and I put out a filler post, and this was what I was talking about, like being strategic. And another move that I made, I put out a filler post. So I put on my Facebook page, you guys can look at it now. If I was to host a personal brand and content creation strategy, who would show up? And I put on there, so that's the first line. And then when you drop down, it's people been asking me about my content, blah, 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 to teach them all that stuff. And so, and I put drop like a hand raise or put I'm down if you would come. So I'm filling it out, even though I know people already been telling me, but my goal is I want to fill the room.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then that post kind of took off. I got a bunch of comments, people raising their hands like a church session.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So now those are going to be my warm leads. So this seminar that I'm going to do, it's a 2-day workshop. The first one, we're going to talk about like personal branding, some of the nuggets that I dropped, but it's really like how to build a personal brand, how to be real, how to be authentic, how to show up on camera. I'm teaching you the philosophy of the personal branding and how to build an audience that supports you no matter what. Then day 2, I'm actually going to teach you the work, the content creation strategy, and I drop some of it, where there's pre-planning content, batching the content, reflipping the content, but I got a bag that's real deep. So day 2, you guys will walk away knowing how to actually do the work. And I feel like when I was doing the seminars for marketing companies, actual companies, they're actually free, right? And they give you a whole bunch of information, but they don't give you the tools and the framework of how to actually do the work. Because the play is we want all those people to come back to us, and we want to be able to sell them. And hey, if you don't know how to do the work, you need help, just hire us. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to charge $250 per person for a 2-day event. And I'm actually going to show you how to do it. And I'm going to show you how to do the work. And you will never need my help unless you want it.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to teach them how to actually do the work. So, yeah, man, that's a seminar.
When are you going to do it?
I'm doing it May 28th and May 29th. I'm still working out a location. It's between the Valpo Chamber building. And I'm working right now with the Westfield Chamber they're going to try to help me find a location.
Nice.
But I have the date, May 28th, May 29th. It's going to be from 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Both days. And so if you guys are interested in coming on and doing the actual seminar and doing the workshop, being a part of that, yeah, you guys can hit me up on Instagram at Phenominal Photo Booth. But that was part of me coming on to the podcast.
Yeah. Honestly, at this point, I might sign up for your seminar because, man, I got so much just out of this podcast.
Yeah.
And
that's what I give the value.
Yeah.
I believe you have a lot of people who are better marketers than they are teachers. And the reason why is because they know how to get attention, but they don't know how to deliver the goods.
Yeah.
So when you actually do the seminar, you're like, I didn't learn anything, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to come onto this podcast so I know we're going to talk about the marketing. I give a chance, it's a chance for people to see me and be like, that dude know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It was 2 seasons in my life where I was effed up. a personal brand and a content creation strategy got me out of my situation. It's battle tested, called conviction-based content. I can talk about it like this because I lived it. I've been through it. I tried it. I tested it. It works. I was effed up. Now I'm not.
Yeah.
So
for you guys at home, as someone who has kind of been working in marketing and like in the sort of marketing sphere for basically my whole career, this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows a lot more than me. I'm not like a marketing guru either, and he keeps saying he's not, but man, you're telling me stuff that I never would have even thought of, and you're honestly like your strategies are I think like genius strategies. They're seriously like really, really creative, really cool strategies. And so anybody at home, I'm giving him my full endorsement. You should go sign up.
Yeah.
And he is up there.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for letting me like come to this platform and share not only my story, but like my journey.
Yeah.
And if people want to sign up for the seminar, I'm going to be releasing a website soon where people can go and register. So I'm still in the inner workings.
Yeah.
But I will make sure I give you the link. Because I don't know when you're going to drop this, but I'll give you
probably like next week,
where people can go to the description or someplace that you guys can register. But just know that like I dropped a lot of game in this podcast, but the bag's still deep. What you're going to get in the actual seminar, if you can believe it or not, it's going to be 10 times more game than I just gave.
Yeah.
Which is probably crazy to believe.
Like I just said, I could talk to you about this for another like 8 hours, 2 more days. I could talk to you.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll talk to him at the seminar. See you guys there too.
Yeah. But man, thank you so much, bro, for like letting me come on.
Yeah.
Because honestly, dude, I just take my shots.
What, real quick before we end it, what made you jump on to my podcast specifically?
I liked your energy.
Yeah?
Yeah, again, a street philosophy that I've always carried. Bro, if I don't like you, I'm not messing with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go based off the energy that I feel from people. When I met you, genuine, down-to-earth dude, because a lot of people, they'll see me and they might not want to talk to me because they like, oh, he's just a photo booth guy, or they don't feel like a connection with me is that valuable. You came right over and talked. You didn't even have to do that.
Yeah.
And I noticed things like that because I know what it feels like to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I followed you on Instagram, and then I've been following the content. I don't comment. I just observe.
Yeah.
So that's why when I go back to saying, you have to chase a great name opposed to great riches. You have people who chase the money, but they have a horrible name.
Yeah.
So they're destroying themselves. When I see you do stuff, dude, you put people on, like Lewis, Frank Rivoli.
Yeah.
These are people that I know personally that came onto the podcast. So people might not engage with you, but they always watching, bro.
Yeah.
So you have to watch with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that because like I get very little engagement on these clips and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if I should post. That's the other thing. Should I be posting these clips on my business page? But maybe I should, because it's like you said, adding my own personality into it. But I've been scared to put this podcast on my business page because I'm like, it's not really what I do.
Bro, my Instagram, my social media is creative expression. I put on there what I feel. Yeah. So sometimes I use my stuff as a portfolio. Now it's just, hey man, I'm on this podcast. It's gonna go on my photo booth. It got nothing to do with photo booths.
Yeah.
Don't even matter. Because that piece of content, if this hits, let's say I drop a great nugget of information or like a great soundbite, that clip, if it goes viral, it goes viral on my photo booth page.
Yeah.
It's going to, like the opportunity is going to funnel back to me no matter where.
So you think keep doing the podcast?
Keep doing the podcast, bro. Yeah, it is what it is, man.
I'm like, I go back and forth on it. Is it worth it?
You probably should consider actually having a podcast page.
Yeah, and add that, and then people started tagging when I would do work for them. Yeah, they tagged the podcast page instead of my work page. Yeah, but that's why I moved it over to the work page.
But just leave it, because even if they do the podcast page, you're gonna open up doors for yourself, bro. Like there's somebody else that not in the events industry, doesn't do music, they want to come on your platform, because I came on because of you. Yeah, I'm not asking anybody. Yeah. I'm asking people that I feel like got good energy, that I observe. Could I have a conversation with that person? If the answer is yes, I'll ask you to be on the pod. Yeah. But it's people out here, not saying names, that like I watch your stuff and I don't think we'll vibe. Yeah. Because I want to give the audience a real great, authentic, real conversation. And I have to like who I'm talking to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
cool.
Well, dope, man.
I appreciate you.
It's been real, big dog.
I appreciate all the information because I'm gonna take it home and like run with it and like really actually you've inspired me to like actually try on social media again.
Do it, bro.
That for a long time I kind of got discouraged with social media and didn't I don't even bother with it. But yeah.
Do you mind if I drop one more? If you guys ever pay for a course or like, because I believe in investing in myself. I pay people that's really good at what they do to teach me, and whether it's through Zoom or whatever, I screen record it and I watch it as many times as I need to, and I take notes. The best part about this conversation is you're gonna have all the footage, dog. All the game I dropped.
Yeah, that too. Do you plan to record your seminar?
No, I didn't plan on recording it. I was recording it for sales. I plan on recording it so I can watch it and get better.
You should record it and then sell it as a course.
I could, bro. You just gave me. Yeah. So I'm not opposed.
I can record it.
Come on, bro. Yeah. I'm not opposed to that, bro. Like if you want to come and record, we'll have to work out like numbers or whatever. Like I'm being dead serious. So like, now I do have Nick also working the project too. So
no, I don't want to step on Nick's toes. I'm not going to hold you against anything for not hiring me.
I'm all about putting people on. So like, if you wanted to come through, but I don't know, because I'm already using it. That might be a little weird.
Yeah, no, dude, I get it. Like if Nick's got it covered, then
that's my dog.
That's mine.
But now that I know you though, if there's other opportunities,
like, if anybody likes got weddings, I don't know, does Nick do weddings? And okay, no. So anybody wants a videographer or what? Drop my name in the hat. I'm happy to. Happy to work with you on stuff. So
hey, dog. Hey, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, anybody at home listening, again, where can we find your work and the seminar?
So you can, if you interested in attending, you can DM me at Phenominal Photo Booth. That's my Instagram page. Selah Brooks is my personal page. But the seminar is May 28th and May 29th. That's a Thursday and a Friday from 10 to 12. It's 2 hours each. And I'm gonna get up with you guys on a location because I'm still trying to figure.
All right, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for stopping in. And Chewy saying it's time to
he like wrap it up.
Later, guys.